Can we go to full grid? All right, welcome everybody. We are here for URS once again. It is round 3 of the season, and it is the French Grand Prix Season 2. We are toward the halfway point, but it is the last race weekend before we have the one off week that we're supposed to have. We'll get started in just a moment, but with the lobby, we're starting early because we have a full grid for the first time. But as you may know, I am Ryan Ocon31, and today I am joined by Lando Norris once again.
What's up? Got a good one today. I can tell you that.
Yes, sir. And it is a full grid, Lando. It's a full grid. This is the first time since Abu Dhabi round 6. It's been 8 rounds, 9 rounds. It's been crazy.
Well, hopefully
I did get my wish. I did get my wish. All right, Lando. I did get my wish.
Hey, your birthday wish, man. Your birthday
Thank you.
wish.
Oh my god. Yeah, so talk about last week really quickly, Lando, before we get started.
Okay, so last week at Canada, it was a real treat, I think. So, qualifying, we had some mixed conditions. We started off in the hints of a small shower, then proceeded throughout the Q1 and Q2 session into a heavy rain. And we finished off Q3 with a mix of a light to heavy rain, which saw, I believe, Pluto getting, his pole position, which then turned into an absolute Canadian classic race, where Pluto just stormed off from the get-go. Seemed like nobody could touch him, and he ultimately, pretty much, I think, led every single lap of the race.
Yeah, I think it was a majority of the laps. I don't think it was every lap, but it was definitely close. And forth with Jab. Jab took the lead for the first time in pure pace with the Haas. Not only that, but you have, you know, Kostag's first podium and Sam taking another second place finish, a consistent finish to get him to lead the championship for the first time.
Which was a really great thing to see, but what wasn't good to see was with 2 to go after a safety car, the huge one. Where I believe after looking at all the clips, I could confirm that we had a mere 8 cars crash in that wreck.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. We're going to see if we'll get any rain, but so far it looks like it's a completely dry Q1, and we could be, like, you know, in Canada, it was completely cloudy, and then we had rain in the way. So we'll see. We'll find out from the drivers if there is any rain of any sort, and if there is, I'm sure they'll update us at any point during the time. 19 full-time drivers here today, and 1 reserve. That's probably the most I think we've had so far. And if we get stuck at this 0 thing, I'm going to be really pissed. But either way, it's a good thing to have a full grid once again. This is the 3rd time in the league history we've done that in the 15 races done now so far. So a fifth of each race, we get a full grid, I guess. So that's a good thing. When it comes to France last season, let's quickly talk about it. We have a countdown time where we have everything being counted down. And yes, it does look like it is dry completely for now, and hopefully it stays that way. We saw rain at the end of Q3 last season. Speaking of last season's qualifying session, before everybody gets out there, I want to talk about it. Faded Knights, only time he led a qualifying session, it was the last race before he got banned, led Q1. It was really an uncompetitive Q1, but we have 20 full-time drivers to have a competitive Q1 this time. Q2 last season saw Atlantis lead qualifying for the first time. A lot of drivers elected to go for the mediums, and in Q3 we saw myself take pole. Aaron split the Ferraris. A Haas made a Q3, and Alfa Romeo made Q3. So we'll see if they can be able to do it this time once again. It goes from dry to wet and back to dry from what Chungus is saying. So if that's true, this could be an interesting race. If that is the race, though, by the way. And Davis is the first driver to get out on track. When it comes to the penalties to be served, we have an interesting one this weekend, Lando. What we have is many drivers with some penalties this weekend. Gagi, he lost his chance at a full-time seat, so he's under a race ban and under the reserve driver role now. With that being said, he is being replaced by J&T Gaming, who made his return here last season, is making his return here once again, this time in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin yet to score points this season. Davis, in this session and in each session, has a one-shot qualifying penalty, which means he gets to go out basically immediately with his setup on, whatever fuel he chooses, but has to go out immediately. Only gets 1 lap in this session that he gets. He has that for every session, has to go out right away. That's his penalty for cutting the track last week. This is his 2nd offense Communist, his teammate, has a 10-second time penalty heading into this. Thrasher with a 5, and Mac Bikeman with a 3.
That's crazy. And yeah, like you said, one shot quality. You got one chance at this. And we know how strict this track is with time penalties, as he's going to build up his pace right here. He's only got one chance, though, so you can't screw it up.
Everybody else who has had a one-shot qualifying with the same format Davis has had in this league has got knocked out in Q1. Aaron Ocon did last week at Canada. Atlantis did at Britain before. And now we have cars coming out of the pits. There's Thrasher right there, but here we go, starting this lap for Davis.
Just got to keep it tight. He's just got to set a representative lap time while keeping it within the limits. He's done a pretty good job in the first 2 corners. Not really pushing the issue, but now he's really got to find it. Find where his AlphaTauri could go. He kept it nice and clean through here, but this is the most technical section, I think, of the whole circuit right here. Your tires are going to start overheating pretty much right now. This is when you got to keep it going, and now this is where he'll be thanking the Lord that he's in an AlphaTauri. Honda engine. He's also going to get a little bit of slipstream from jab. He's actually going to get a lot of it down the straight.
Wow.
That's going to help him. And now into the beautiful chicane here. He's going to keep it in 4th. Is he going to shift down to 3rd to get the rotation? Yes, he will. Is he going to get on the curb? Yes, absolutely. He's nailed the chicane. He's nailed the whole middle sector, considering that it's just a straight. And that's a pretty good first sector, 51.0. He's coming around to sector 3, which is my personal favorite sector of this whole track. Right here, turn 10. I call it Spoon, even though it's called Cena.
A lot of skill.
A lot of skill. He keeps it. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Kept it all the way clean. He's going to go dish it out wide. He's going to hit the apex right there. A little lazy with the front, though, but he gets away with it. Now, the final 2 corners. This is where all the money needs to be held for his car. He keeps it nice and wide. I think there was a little more or less commitment in there. More or less. Final corner, he goes wide. But now, down the final straight. This is it. His one chance. Will it be enough? He's kept it clean. And he's going to be the first one, and it's a 31.9.
Well, I don't know if that's good enough because of what last season's qualifying times were representative of. Even last season's qualifying times weren't fast, but speaking of being fast, Rice Cracker to the top, 31.1. So Davis took it really conservative, but his teammate has clocked in a time that's second fastest, only a 10th off. Behind that, there is a Haas. It's starting a lap for Jab. McLaren comes to the line. That's Mac Bikeman. We have a yellow flag in the middle sector. That's an Alpine. Mac Bikeman slower than Davis, though. Behind that, we have Polo God coming to start a lap. Invalid for the time being, but let's go on board with his lap as well through at least sector 1 because this Haas seems really unstable at the track like this.
You know how I feel about these Haas cars, and you know what? That looked pretty stable to me. Oh, kept it in the track limits, though.
Barely.
Wow. That's as close as you can get right there. So just dishing it through here. This is the most technical part right here. You gotta make sure the car wants to do what you want. As you can see, just understeers so much. A pretty good first sector, I think, compared to the others, though. But this is
where he put his sector 1, 22.7, Rice Cracker at 22.5. And speaking of the leaderboard quickly, sorry to cut in, Lando. Will Cromack, 33,000 off. Riles, 400ths off. And then behind that, Aaron Ocon also set a lap that splits the AlphaTauris.
I'll tell you what, that was a really, really good lap right there by everybody. Right,
Oh,
set a
no.
lap. Oh, he got too much. He cut the first part of the chicane, got away with it, but just took too much out of the cherry. And that's an invalidation for him.
That was going well through sector 2 as well. It was a 28.2. I mean, he let off because of the invalidation a little bit, but even then, he was about to be, I think, 4, maybe 6 tenths off Rice Cracker, and that was not too bad until the invalidation. T. Blossom, by the way, let's talk about drivers making their first starts quickly. As we have Kostek coming to the line, he completes that. Davis retires in the pit lane, but Mac Bikeman, Thrasher comes back after being out for a week. Atlantis making his first start of the season. Wingo comes back after being out for a week. Communist out of the session. He thinks he's safe. Also, with that being said, Burning Man, a reserve, coming back at it again. He's reserving for a Mercedes, and he is making his second start of the season. Also coming back is JNT, making his return as we've all spoke about. Coming to the line is Polo God, gonna start another lap. Jap gone 6th. I'm interested to see what's gonna go on here with this whole session because Q1 last season was not so competitive. And speaking of competitive, Atlantis has made himself known at the top. He, in his return to Aston Martin and to the league for the season, is going to be out on top. 31.1, that is, I think. And, you know, last season it was a pole time of a 30.7 set by me, and I think we're going to see times that are a lot much faster than that. Wow.
Well, there you have it right there. And Aston Martin 1-2. So Aston Martin finally getting their stuff sorted out, finally. Could be just because you got really two good drivers, and Aston Martin before that really didn't have the best
That's
of
strong
drivers.
chemistry. Yeah. They had Gagi, and the thing is, don't get me wrong, Gagi is a good driver, but he's not shown that too much in this league. He's only scored 1 point so far in the races he's done. Pluto, our last race winner, up to 8th. And Wingo set a time that's only 13th best, slowest of them all. T Blossom, by the way, this is his first full-time start at this track. He has now invalidated his lap time. And Thrasher as well, who's just ahead of him, going through the end of Sector 1. Here, now he head through Sector 2. Sector 2 for Thrasher. Clipping that inside curb. This car, Thrasher mentioned on the podcast, a bit of trouble turning in. We have a yellow flag, but let me just mention as well, while we're going through Thrasher's lap, the top 5 all within a tenth. And this should be really a competitive race for the front of the field with the car spread for the people who will benefit from this. Somebody said in a time, I want to say that was Polo with a valid lap. 9th place for him ahead of his teammate Jab. Last week, he could not qualify Jab, and last week he couldn't even outrace Jab. So, oh, that's
Oh.
invalid for Thrasher. Same steed on the mediums. Also, at the end of his lap, I don't know if this is continuing valid. I don't think it's a lap he should be continuing, because he's got a bit of front wing damage. He's missing a bit of front wing.
I don't know what happened there. He must have just lost it at the chicane because he was parked there on Thrasher's onboard.
Well, people changing teams. The only people who change teams, JNT, reserved to a full-time driver. But he didn't really change any teams. He just changed his appearance with his status in the league. 14 drivers have still set a lap so far. Sam, I don't know if he'll be staying on the mediums or not. Chung is starting a lap now. And he's getting ready to be able to get himself to the line. ERS applied, overtake, or not the overtake, DRS I meant, also implied there too. I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. But we'll watch Chungus through Sector 1. But while watching him, I want to also mention
Whoa!
small things. And Race Director notes! Oh boy,
What a
that was good.
save.
Small things in Race Director notes. Drivers have to make sure they enter the pit lane the correct way, because if they don't, then they'll be getting a penalty for it. You have to follow the dotted white line throughout the whole time to do so. Rowdy's about to start a lap, by the way. We'll go on board with him and talk about it, since Chungus lost it right there. He abandoned that one. Speaking of gaps, last season the gap between 1 and 2 was 2/10, I want to say, in that session. Between Faded and the second place car Davis. The lap time for Q1, the top of Q1, was a 31.3. Atlantis has already beat that with a 31.1. Rowdy has now invalidated again. Rowdy did
Oh.
the same thing in Imola, and he started from the back, but if I'm Rowdy here, I don't want to start from the back, because Alpine now lead the Constructors' Championship, and you want to start well here at a track like this where we saw trouble on the first lap last season with Aaron Ocon clipping the curb. Pluto got involved in trouble. He ended up coming back for a podium from it, but I also got involved slightly. Also set a lap. Burning Man, 8th place in his Mercedes, 3/10 behind. He is safe for now. But yeah, you want to be able to set a good lap to be able to start up front, but also not get involved in the trouble. You got to be very conservative with what you can do. And speaking of being conservative, Davis's lap was very conservative. 13th place for him. He's currently in right now, but he's toward the elimination zone as it stands.
Yeah, a little odd that he really didn't push that hard. You think that, with a one shot, you would push the car to its absolute limit. But who knows, maybe this was the right call by him, because he thinks that other cars behind him might not get the lap time that they need and just invalidate. So we'll have to find out and keep an eye on that.
Chungus saves it through turn 2 that time. Sorry to cut in for the brief moment. Blossom last week got out qualified by his teammate, and his teammate, well, Chromac, is now 2-0, and he's still sitting 2-0 as of this session, as things stand. Chungus through Sector 1, 22-6. JNT retiring from the session. He thinks he's safe in second place, and I would tell you right now, I think he really is. By the way, Chungus did set a lap, but it is a lap that has got him out of Q1 right now. Last week was also the first time Race Cracker out-qualified a teammate. Joe in the Alfa Romeo last week got out qualified by a teammate. He's not racing this week. He is not able to reserve with the cars that were available. Chungus goes through Sector 2 and is up on his time. That's not a bad time compared to what we saw Polo doing, so he should be up there on the leaderboards when he was able to complete this. Jab also in qualifying this season. Speaking of Polo, Jab is 2-0 on his teammates right now. By the way, the gap last week between 1 and 2 in qualifying, a tenth between Chungus and the next car behind. So, with there being a full grid, we will see 5 drivers out this time instead of maybe 3 or 4, or 2 because of how many join in. And Alpine is spun. That's rather Rowdy or Sam, who've both yet to set laps. But speaking of setting laps, Chungus comes off the final corner now, deploys the URS, comes to the start-finish line now. This should be a lap that sets him in the top 10. Will it? Yes, it will. 6th place very comfortably.
That should be enough to make them in, and I think anywhere below, I believe where Pluto is, I think that is the bubble zone.
Yeah, and that could vary depending on what happens to the rest of the session. Speaking of varying, Jab might get himself a little bit faster. He's completing the end of this lap now. Heads through Sector 3, heads to the final corner. That can be a tricky final corner at times, but he made it look very easy, especially in the Haas. Was it fast enough to go through that final corner? He does improve. He's ahead of his teammate now, but he is not ahead of Pluto, where we were talking about, though. Also, behind that, both Alpines on a lap. Rowdy's is invalid. Sam's on the medium still, and he's got a McLaren following him, too.
Interesting.
That McLaren is also on a lap, though, so that could be a bit of the concern as we head to this final sector. Mac Bikeman has to improve because he's on the elimination zone as we stand. Both of them coming across the line now. Sam, Mac getting close to the back of Sam. Sam on the mediums, though. Here comes Sam. Sam crosses the line first. Mac Bikeman crosses the line next. Where do they go? T-Blossom while we were at it. Set a lap. Sam's barely in. Mac improves to 4th.
Oh, did it look like it hurt Mac?
He could have improved to fastest if he did not get held up by Sam right there, but Sam couldn't really do much about it. Sam will have to go again. He's just barely out. And speaking of being out, Team Blossom was out as well.
Interesting.
Aaron Ocon thinks he's safe, so he should be okay with that. Last week, out in Q1, it was both Mercedes, a Burning Man, and Rice Cracker. Both of them look very safe right now, but a lot can change in the next 4 minutes and onwards. Aaron Ocon retired from the session. He was out last week. He should be safe this week. Chungus, also out. He has decided to retire. He thinks he's safe as well. He's not going to go out again.
And now it's just a game of where you can find the lap time. This is the cracker. This is the cracking down right here. You gotta find the lap now. Especially for Rowdy. He's been invalidating every single time.
So far, not invalid, though. That can change throughout the 3rd sector. This is a sector that is very driver skill, and Rowdy has to keep this valid right here in order to keep going, in order to keep himself safe into Q2. He's got to have a good lap to do so. Alpine leading the Constructors' Championship. They're not safe right now. They're only 5 points ahead of AlphaTauri entering this race. Williams and Alfa Romeo not far behind too, so they're having good runs right now with their teams. But Alpine crossed the line. Rowdy is fastest by almost a tenth, so he is definitely safe now.
Tell you what, 3rd time's the charm for him.
That elimination zone is coming closer and closer and closer. Thrasher is invalid on his lap. T-Blossom invalid on his lap as well.
Yikes.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the chat. You were in the chat this week as you were not reserving as you had reserved for the first 2 weeks. It's good to see you in chat, and I would like to know, because you usually race engineer a couple of people, who will you be race engineering this week in this race? That's what I wonder. I see Chungus in chat. He was in chat for a moment. Also, this field is really close, man. This is crazy. This is gonna be crazy for sure. Burning Man on a lap, and he is looking to improve himself ahead of Aaron Ocon to get Aaron Ocon toward that elimination zone. Aaron Ocon is definitely toward the elimination zone now, with Burning Man being 800ths up on his time. Mac Bikeman, he thinks he's safe. He retires from the session, but before that, we'll see Atlantis cross the line to start a lap just to be safe, just to see if he will be into Q2. He should with the amount of people retiring, but he wants to set another lap. Burning Man is going to cross the line in the next 15 seconds. What will it be? JNT's in the chat. He's also out of the session right now. He's safe. He is behind his teammate, and it may be a teammate battle for pole, and the Burning Man sliding across the final corner, but coming to the line now. Where will Burning Man go? Burning Man is going to go not even faster at all. Nowhere near faster. A 10th down, so we lost time within that last sector. Sam Steed, though, this is crucial. He has not been out of Q1 on pure pace. The last time he was out of Q1, China, based off of the medium strategy, so he technically was out in pure pace, but because of strategic decisions. Polo, by the way, crossing the line now. Polo comes to the line. Polo will go faster than his teammate as well. He's ahead of Pluto. Thrasher crossing the line now. He will improve. But yeah, Sam, the only other time he was out, was Brazil, where he crashed out, but made it through on his time. Making it through on his time right now is Thrasher. He knocks Jab out. Look at the gap between the elimination zone and being in
Wow.
right now, Lando.
This is close, and I don't think Sam's gonna make it to the line. We have 15 seconds. He's only going towards the third sector right now. I
He
don't
may
think
be
he's
able
gonna
to
do it.
be making it barely, but we have a Red Bull crossing the line. That's Chromac. Rice Cracker's out of this session, but who is out of this session right now for sure is Davis with the one shot.
There it is. The streak continues with the one-shot quali, putting people out of Q1.
Sam should be able to cross the line. Jab was able to get to the checkered flag now. Atlantis is completing his lap as well. He's 19 thousandths down. Can he change the path for Aston Martin with no constructor's point so far? And right now, it is Atlantis not improving. But the Alpina, Sam crosses the line. Let's start his lap as well. He's in the elimination zone. Wingo's also in the elimination zone. He's 2/10 up. But here comes Sam through turn 1 and 2.
Ooh, nice.
Taking it very, very easy. And I did practice with Sam. He had some great pace. But somebody who did as well was myself, who practiced with these guys. But I ended up flipping due to a collision. So hopefully that AlphaTauri does not do the same with the Communist or Davis. Checkered flags for Blossom. Checkered flag for Blossom. Blossom's out. Burning Man. Checkered flag for him. Polo has to retire. Wingo and Sam and Davis and Pluto, they're the only ones who can say something about this. But Sam coming through. Wingo crosses the line, cannot make it out of Q1 again.
Wow.
Riles wanted to be safe. He's coming to cross the line now. Sam heading through Sector 2. Yeah, if he improves this lap, he should be able to be close to being in, or at least in. Jab a 10th up. Pluto heading through Sector 2. Sector 3, the end of Sector 3 now. Sam is 3/10 up. But that right now is not enough. Sector 3's got to improve. Pluto right now has invalidated and could be out of Q1 again. Or sorry, could be out of a qualifying session again. He's never been out of Q1.
And it's gonna be Jab,
Q2.
baby. It could be Jab. He's a 10th up.
Could be. Jab comes to cross the line now. Where will he go? Jab crosses the line.
He's
Jab
done it.
improves. Pluto's out.
Oh my god.
Now, can Sam knock another Haas out and knock another low field team in? Or low field team out. You have an Alfa Romeo out. You have a Williams out. Will we have a Haas? Yes, we will. Just barely.
Wow. That got spicy right there.
That really did. It was a very competitive Q1, and on that elimination zone, it was, I want to say, a 31-8. Here we go, qualifying session Q1 done. Rowdy at the top of the table. The last time that happened for him was back at the Hungary race in Season 1. He is ahead of the field with a 62,000th gap.
That's
over
incredible.
Atlantis. Talk us through the field.
Well then, yeah, Rowdy fastest in Q1, followed by Atlantis and J&T. Great showing by Aston Martin in the early doors of qualifying. Riles Cracker, Mac, Will, Riles, Chungus, Communist, and Kostag are your top 10. Followed by Aaron, Thrasher, Jab, Burning Man, and Sam, just barely. And your 5 drivers out are Polo, Pluto, Davis, Wingo, and Blossom. Interesting thing to say enough, the top 17 separated by half a second. Half a second. That's incredible.
Even being into Q2, 4.5 tenths, or just barely 4 tenths, I should say. Really, because that elimination zone, 31.4. Last season's Q1 time, 31.3. And by the way, second or third place in Q1 last season would have been knocked out in this session this season. That's crazy to think about. Blossom was able to make Q2 last season, out this time. Alfa Romeo Wingo still is not able to make Q3. Davis also out in a qualifying session. He was out in Q2 last season, I want to say. Also out. Pluto, for the first time on pure pace, out in Q1. Wow, your championship winner from last season. I think it's a Lewis Hamilton type of thing. You know, Lewis Hamilton, contender for the championship in what's it called? He contended for the championship in 2021, and he was out in Q1 in Jeddah, and Pluto is out in Q1 this time. And Polo got a big surprise from him. He said the Haas was not fast, but I would have at least expected him, out of anybody, to be through to at least Q2. I don't think he would have got to Q3, but he at least should have been out to Q2 here. And the gap at the front of the field is really close, and especially through the midfield as well, because it took a lot a lot for people to get out here. Chungus said might want to restart the stream, but I think it's just people behind. I don't think it's um, too bad. Yeah, I actually, you know what? I can see it through my stream. It is a little bit behind. There's not much I can do about that, but I don't really want to restart the stream from that just because I want the whole thing to be uploaded as one video. If it gets farther behind, though, by like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
will probably restart it. I'm aware that the stream's delayed. I'm aware. But yeah, Rowdy needs another invite back
I
to the
got him.
session, by the way, Lando. Also, just want to point out, the rest of this qualifying session looks to be dry, but,
You have a
as
hint of
Pluto
rain?
mentioned, this race does look like to be Brazil 2008.
Ooh.
So, there you go. And Burning Man said he got blocked by Blossom on his lap. But before we come to the start-finish line, be able to start some laps, I want to mention Aaron, after his struggles last week, through to Q2. Burning Man didn't make Q2 last week, through to Q2. Rice Cracker for the first time as well, maybe for the first time, but definitely for the first time this this week. In the last 8 days, he's through to Q2. Also through is Sam, just barely. Chungus was able to avoid elimination pretty easily. Both Aston Martins through and both McLarens through when they crucially need it. Aston Martin, a J&T, coming through Sector 1 right now. The end of Sector 1, clipping that curb. You don't want to clip the yellow part or else you're going through to... And yeah, he's left the session, so his lap
Oh.
is done. So
Huh.
that was a little bit of a curse for me, I think, just being on board with him. Now we're on board with Rice Cracker, coming through Sector 1.
So
Keeping
it
it within the track
begins.
limits, just barely. It is a tough corner to do so when you're tight on the setup or tight on the car. To keep it
Oh.
within the track limits, you have to let off a little bit, and you don't want to lose that time. We have a car off. That is a McLaren of Mac Bikeman, but Rice Cracker comes through Sector 1, a 22.5. Similar to what he was able to do in Q1, which put him at the top of the table. Not at the very top, but toward the top of the table. Now, coming down this long straight. Also want to mention, too, you have one Alfa Romeo, one Haas, one Williams, through to Q2, but it's not the drivers you'd expect, to put it in the best sense. I mean, maybe Jab you'd expect, but with the way things have gone, not the way you would expect it to be. Rice Cracker comes through Sector 2, 50.3. Pretty clean chicane from him. I didn't really see much of a mistake clipping that inside curb. Very ease through there. Very calm, very patient. And that's what you want to have with this type of lap. Clips the curb just a little bit, clipping that outside curb just a little bit too. And you want to have a more conservative line for this corner. He's done so. Can't clip that inside curb. You can spin out very easily. I've seen people do that. People did it last season. Just ask Kono Katori. Anyway, coming through the last 2 corners. And that was in the same car, by the way, too. Now to the inside curb. Clips that. May have lost some slight time from that, but this should get him safe to Q2 for now with this lap. Sam Steed sets a time. The benchmark, 31.6. Rice Cracker crosses the line. That's faster.
Wow.
30.5. We've already gone faster than last season's pole time.
That's incredible speed. Holy moly.
The Ferrari crosses the line. That might have been an invalid lap. 2 Ferraris cross the line. That might have also been an invalid lap. Or somebody starting their lap. The Mercedes, the teammate, Burning Man crosses the line. 3 tenths down. The McLaren, Thrasher, or sorry, that's Mac Bikeman starting a lap. But Thrasher crosses the line now. Where does he go? He is not even good enough for a position ahead of Sam. But Will Cromack splits the 2 Mercedes.
It's an interesting session. The field is somewhat split between the medium and soft tires. I really don't think the medium tire has this big of a delta between the softs. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I want to make sure the stream is within the same stream as Q1 and everything else with it. I don't want to do that, but we have an Alfa Romeo crossing the line, coast stag, only 6 on the medium, so we should be seeing some strategic stuff here with the strategy.
Yeah, it's split down the middle. It's just a matter on who can break that soft tire barrier. Whoever can do it must feel some kind of confidence. As Kostak kind of got there. He's not too far off. Between him and I believe Sam is really, I think, the benchmark of where you want to put the medium tire right now.
Yeah, Lannis third, as you mentioned. The Haas crosses the line. Jat's Jab starting a lap. The Ferrari crosses the line now. We have Riles going up to 4th. Who's about to start a lap that will get us some interesting content? Let's see. Communist, JNT. Let's go with people's finishing lap first. Aaron crosses the line in the mediums. Is 7th place for him. Also, the McLaren of Mac Bikeman comes across the line. It's 7th place for him. He's also on the mediums. But we have JNT now going to restart another lap after being put back to the pits. Yeah, again, I do apologize for the stream being behind. I really wish it wasn't like that, but it's something we can deal with. It's something we had to deal with back in ARL with Mixer, because things were 30 to 45 seconds behind.
Oh, that's
so, yeah.
Oh, that's a flashback
Yeah, I know.
there. Oh,
and JNT is invalid. Well, we'll go to Communist now. Communist starting a lap in the AlphaTauri. What can he do through turn 1 and 2? Can he keep it valid unlike JNT right there? So far, he's been able to do so. Yes, he can.
Yeah,
now, yeah, he did. That's the problem. If you don't have the perfect setup or the perfect car, you cannot go full throttle through turn 2 when you immediately go on the gas, and that's the problem for a lot of people I've noticed. A lot of people haven't been able to do that because of their setup, or they're just simply being conservative and waiting to Q3 to do it. Williams crosses the line, Chungus starting a lap. Communist now through the back straight, DRS deployed, ERS down to 75%, now getting lower than that.
Yeah, this is
like Pluto said,
yeah.
Just gonna leave it.
Yeah, there's not much we can do with the stream. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, again, I apologize. I really do.
I believe what the Burning Man and Blossom incident, I did catch a little bit. They were racing each other at some point down the back stretch. I just want to point that out. They were having a drag race. Blossom was all the way at the guardrail, all the way on the right side of the track. I don't know what was going on there.
Well,
Burning Man
I can tell you what was going on is Blossom realizing that he's going to be knocked out of Q1, and he was. He was not fast enough. We're not anywhere close. But it is his second full-time start, so he's just still getting used to things. Take us to the end of this lap with Communist.
He's coming through the final corner now. Really didn't get to see a lot of his middle sector as I was paying attention to Sam and Burning Man having a little weirdness going on. But it's P6 for Communist. Is it safe enough? I don't think so. I think you need to have a high 30 in order to be safe. So I believe one of the Alpines of Rowdy TJ just went up the board of a 31-0. So I do think the 30s is where you might want to be safe for the Q3 shootout.
Yeah, where people were in Q1, it was a 31-4. I think right where if everybody goes in the right tire and the same tire, I think Rowdy and Communist, where they're at, is probably somewhere where the elimination zone is, anywhere between a 31-0 and a 31-3. I mean, surely one of them is going to go out there to try to repeat it, but as of right now, Communist and Rowdy the only one that's in laps, but Burning Man about to start a lap here through the final corner. We've not talked too much about him. His race in Canada had won, but it was bad on penalties. His pace was really good, but the problem was his penalties were just not great. 21 seconds of penalties. He ended up taking his first points finish in the league, so kudos to him on that. And there is a potential slide. There's a potential slide, but that's about it for him. I was going to mention there's a potential chance, if anything happens with the top 3 teams, he could be taking a full-time seat, which Thrasher mentioned during the podcast that for now he's full-time, but he could be going to a reserve. Thrasher could be. So if anybody takes over that McLaren spot, I would expect it to be Burning Man if anybody does. He's able to make every race out from here. By the way, on a lap, Sam Steed in the Alpine, 2/10 up, purple sector 1. I don't know if that's an actual purple sector 1 or just a little hack there, but there you go, down the back straight, 75% of the ERS. He's managed that pretty well. He's also managed to keep it very fast in a straight line with his setup, because he has reached the 200-mile-per-hour mark. And now, through the chicane, you can get away with a lot in track limits for that chicane. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
You really can. I've done that in practice. It's so much you can get away with. But speaking of getting away with it, he's got away with it very well to get himself 5/10 up on the time. Now, committing very well to the fast right-hander. Now he's got to commit very well to the long right-hander. You got to have a very precise and very patient, calm, and good line through this type of section. He would get himself up to 6th, maybe ahead of his teammate right now, maybe just behind him right now. But entering the final couple of corners, here goes Sam, 5/10 up on his time. Can he use the driver skill he's shown so far to lead the championship to get himself better through Sector 3? That's where Sector 3 is dependent on a lot of driver skill, not as much car. Here he comes to cross the line. It will be 4th place. It is enough to get him safe for now.
A very nice lap. A little hesitation there in the 3rd sector, but it looks fine to me. And one thing I want to talk about is, with the top speeds. Remember, it is going to be a dry rain race. We are having a Brazil situation for this race. And I've just been looking at the speed traps a little bit here. There's cars that are really fast and there's cars that are really slow. One of them was Wingo. Saw him in the Discord saying how he was set for the wet preset, wet race
Yeah.
setup for it. So who really knows? The field could just be split between a wet setup and a dry setup. So this is a really gonna
JNT
be a
through,
really good one.
JNT through Sector 1, trying to get a lap in here. It might be one of his only laps of the session. He's currently out in the Aston Martin right now on his return. That's not something I'd want to hear. Not something you'd want to hear if you are an Aston Martin driver or an Aston Martin supporter. Either way, 22.5 in that first sector. Let's see what he's able to do in the end of Sector 2. He was able to race this race last season. He was in the Williams. He's now been in 3 different teams. Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and Williams. Well, he was already in the Aston Martin to start the league, but
Saw a flick of
50.3
purple.
through Sector 2. Yeah, was
That was
for a
weird.
second. So, we'll see what he can do. Right now, currently out, Thrasher, Kostag, and Jeb. But on the elimination zone, Aaron and Mac Bikeman. So, we'll see what they can do. And I noticed the stream has kind of caught itself up a little bit because it's now 20 seconds behind, not 30 now.
Let's
So,
go.
that's a good thing. But, anyways, JNT coming to the final sections of the track. I mean, you mentioned wet, dry. I mean, you got to just get it right. I mean, I watched BRL last night in the Tier 1 race with Axe. Axe, one of our reserve drivers who races there. Inters were the right tire for about 2 laps, by the way. So you want to get the strategy right, and you want to get your time right to start well. P3 right now for JNT.
That certainly should get him in to Q3 unless everybody just manages to find a huge amount of lap time, which is possible.
Ooh.
Very possible around here.
Speaking of that, sorry to cut in, I apologize. Chungus, purple through Sector 2, 50.3, similar to JNT. Mac Bikeman goes to second, and that right now has got him safe and has knocked Aaron Ocon out.
Interesting. Track is ramping up, and so is the driver's times, as the McLaren's gone off in the first sector. I believe that was Mac. He was letting his
Really?
teammate go.
Riles thinks he's safe? I don't know. That's going to be tough. We'll see. We'll see. This is a very close field, and I mentioned
very
Rowdy and
bold.
Calm. The time for the gap, 31.3 is eliminations on right now. 32.0 is where it's out.
Chungus.
Now, it is a 31.3 because Chungus has got himself in.
Interesting though that Riles has thinks he's safe. I don't know if it's gonna pay off, but it'll be a very bold gamble here for him. As
Aaron
Thrasher's just
Ocon.
validated.
Sorry, I had to cut in. Aaron finished a lap, but he can only manage 11th. He's got to go again. He's not safe right now. Ferrari, you know, they'd have great pace with their drivers, but right now they're just, I don't know.
I think they're better in the
starts
race.
a lap.
I think they're a better race train
Yeah, I mean,
cars.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was shown last season, I think, with me and Sam. But you have 2 drivers who are really good at 1-lap pace. Sam, much better on race pace, and that showed last season with him leading the majority of the race. Kostag currently out right now. Let's see what he can do through the first 2 turns. Kostag, keeping it clean. Can he keep it valid? Yes, he can. Jab has invalidated his lap time, so he has to be able to make it back to the line and be able to go for one again. He's currently 15th. And when it comes to rain, Lando, when it comes to the rain, by the way, 22.5 in the first sector, that's 5/10 up, so this is promising for the most part for Kostag. But with what was mentioned there, for the rain part, we have not seen a rain race in this league since race 5 at Singapore. We've not seen a full grid since Abu Dhabi at round 6, so we're getting a lot of firsts for a while here, and I want to tell you right now, that's a good thing here.
Very.
With that being said, full grid, and then that. Yellow flag, is that Jab still invalid? And he might not be able to make it back to the checkered flag. Kostag is going through sector
8/10 up.
3 right now. He is 8/10 up, so that is a good thing to at least get him ahead of Thrasher. Thrasher will be coming across the line soon, but Jab is in the final corner, and he will not make the checkered flag. Jab is going to only start 15th as of right now. Checkered flag for everybody 9th and above. Improving their time is Communist. Communist is safe, and he is in. Chungus crossed the line as well. He was safe for now, but Rowdy improves to make himself in. And look at that, the gap for being in, 3/10 off the leader. We have another driver crossing the line. That is an Alpine, and that is it for whoever it was. But Kostag crosses the line. Kostag, it can improve,
13th.
but not enough to get himself in. He is 13th, and he is ahead of Thrasher for now. Thrasher comes through sector 3, the final sections of the track. With it being a rain race, though, Lando, I'm really interested to see who will have the benefit of the doubt with this and with strategy. Thrasher coming across the line now. He looks to go fastest. He is
He's
just
made
off
it.
of that.
Wow.
2/10, and he has made it. Burning Man out. Chungus out. And Aaron Ocon's the only one who can say something about that, but he is invalidated.
So it's worked off for Riles. It's worked out beautifully for him. P10 right on the bubble. It's worked out.
Wow.
Incredible.
30.8. 30.8 for that gap on being safe and being out. Look
Incredible.
at that. I mean, fourth place on back in Q3 would have been knocked out in this qualifying session. That's crazy. 2/10 that gap right there. 2/10 to just be safe. 2.5 really.
It's crazy.
He's safe right there.
One
So
thing to
out of
mention.
Q2.
Wow.
I was gonna say
So
out of
one thing to
Q2,
mention out about
Jab.
this Q too is
I'm
everybody
sorry, God.
besides Jab was about 6 tenths off of each other. That was the gap between 14th and the fastest time. Incredible.
Wow. I'm shocked Riles got through because I knew Chungus would have been out, but
Yeah.
again, it is a close qualifying session at the front of the field and throughout the rest of the field. Rice Cracker, it's the second time he's led a session, and guess what? The last time that it was Alpine Mercedes leading qualifying sessions, the team that went on to take pole was Ferrari. Riles, the only Ferrari in this one for this session. Anyway, going through the order with the people who are out. Jab out, Kostag out, Aaron Ocon out, Chungus out, Burning Man also out, but barely making it through. Riles and Sam. Sam just barely safe once again. But we have a variety of teams that have got out in these qualifying sessions. Let me just mention, Lando, before you're going to say what you're going to say, which I apologize for. The interesting factor with these teams out, by the way, both Williams out, both Alfa Romeos out, both Haas out. For those teams, what we have out of the teams out, a Red Bull, two Alfa Romeos, an AlphaTauri, two Williams, two Haas, a Ferrari, and a Mercedes. So with the teams that are through to Q3 and with the drivers that are through to Q3, this could be a chance to have another first-time pole sitter or someone we've not seen sit on the pole in a while. With that being said, Will Cromack 3-0 in his teammate. He keeps that record going. Red Bull is through to Q3. And he gets his streak continued. Sam also continues his streak of going through to Q3. Both Alpine drivers made it. Rowdy, first time since Portugal. Riles also made it through. It's good for him. He takes Ferrari through to Q3. Atlantis and JNT, fourth different team as well. Communist, fifth different team. Rice Crackers, sixth different. And McLaren, double Aston Martin. They've yet to score points. Maybe their first points could come today. 7 different teams in. And I'm interested to see what the amount of drivers in it too, because Communist took a first pole recently. Thrasher's not been on pole since last season, early start of last season. Rice Cracker, first Q3 appearance. JNT, first Q3 appearance in a long ass time. And it's the first time he's been through to Q3 on a return as well, because on the return last season, he wasn't able to make it through. Mac Bikeman, second time. Atlantis, once again, he was here last season. Could he get a pole? We'll see. And both Alpines through, as well as Riles and Cromack.
We have a diverse field and we have a diverse team. 7 out of the 10. Interestingly enough, it looks like an actual F1 Q3 session where we have the top.
Yeah.
We have top teams. We have no surprisers. Like no Alfa Romeos, no Hasses. Maybe the only big surprise might be Aston, but considering throughout the whole session they've been up there in the top 5 pretty much. Really no big surprise that they're in here. Fighting for poles.
Pluto meant... Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry about that. Pluto, I need to stop cutting you off, but
No,
I was
you're
gonna say,
good.
Pluto mentioned something interesting to note in the main chat. It's gone from car in Britain to driver in Canada, then back to car now, and it's quite cool to see, and I do agree with that. But the first driver who'll be starting a lap is GSR Riles. Riles, his last chance that he had for pole, and I would say his only chance in this league for pole, was back at Portugal. He ran his wheel last season. Ever since Portugal, on the controller. Riles, last season, took 3 of 12 points finishes. This was his first race last season that he didn't race. He only raced in the 10 of the races. And with that being said for Riles, he's in a Ferrari, he's in a much more comfortable spot, and he's in a much more comfortable place to get himself on pole for the first time. 22.5 through the first sector. That's not good enough if he wants to be on pole, but that's not good enough at all because he's invalidated.
JT is set at 22.4, so everyone behind is set at faster and faster sector times. As like you said, Riles did invalidate, so he's just gonna have to back down here and maybe go for another. If not, just go into the pits and just hope for another Bite of the cherry. But now J&T leads this huge group, so now J&T is the car that we will see the benchmark time for Paul. As he's going through Sector 2, it's going to be a
That's
50.2.
good.
That's a really good sector
That's really
time.
good.
Must be thanking the Mercedes engine a lot there. As through my favorite, just an absolute favorite quarter right here. Absolute driver committed. Nailed it pretty good. Maybe could have gone on the power a little earlier, but who really knows? Dips the car nicely. The car's just responding to everything he wants. But will it respond to these last two quarters? I see a lot of arrow wash. As it doesn't really arrow wash a lot there, but here a little tight on the apex. But he's gonna get widening it out to the line. This is it. This is gonna be the pole time that everyone's gonna have to chase. J&T to the line. It's gonna be a 30.6. Who will beat it? It will be Will. A tenth up. Now Riles Cracker. Who's next? Alash goes second. Here comes the McLaren, who boxes, which then leads Rowdy TJ Boy. He's been struggling all weekend, but he's managed to get it back. To the line, it's P5, followed by Riles. He's going to start another lap. It's Sam, the last car to set a lap around here right now. Through the final corner. He's kept it clean. Nice run. He's going to keep it all the way to the left, minimize any kind of scrub off on the speed. To the line, it's gonna be 6th.
Ooh.
Must have been a used set tires.
Also is starting a lap now. Did he invalidate the first one? I want to say he did. Communist on an outlap, Riles on another one. But yeah, Rice Cracker faster than last season's pole time by about nearly 5/10. But even with that being said, though, it's like J&T's time. I was like that could have been improved much. I mean, last session, 30.5 on that one, and I don't know if Rice Cracker's going for another one or he's coming back to the pits, but for now, this could be the first time that Mercedes has been on pole, and we've yet to see a Mercedes pole, and let alone, we yet to see Rice Cracker out-qualify his teammate till last week. He did that, and he's now got himself into Q3 for the first time. Also, out-qualifying his teammate again. Don't hit the back of Will. Good choice there.
Good choice. It's always good when you don't hit your team. Oh, J&T. No, that's not J&T. That's the latest.
Well, Thrasher's coming through the middle sector now, and I don't know what he set through sector 2, but I know Riles is on a lap, and he's going to be able to complete this one. Let's watch the end of this one, because we could see Riles at the top of the table, like we saw at the beginning in the most of the session, I want to say, in Portugal, till Aaron Ocon, and it made an Ocon 1-2. Riles crosses the line and comes 5th place, but that's just not good enough for front row at all, because he's 3/10 off that.
Interestingly enough, Thrasher ran a 22.9 in the first sector, a 22.7, I believe, in the middle sector, or a 29.7, I'm not quite sure. But we'll find out where he gets sorted out in the grid. It's going to be P8 behind Sam. I'm guessing, again, used tires for the McLaren.
I know that's not Sam and Thrasher's full potential. I guarantee you that right now. When I was practicing with Sam, I'll tell you right now, in a session like this, he should easily be sitting 3rd. With the times he was setting, easily should be. I don't know how he's not up there right now. I mean, he must have... I don't want to say he's sandbagging, but I will tell you right now, it's not looking promising for the championship leader if he wants to have a good start in this race. And with the way this race goes, with the way it's set to go, yeah, I want to start well, because if I have a mistake with how I choose the tires or choose what I want to do, then I'd rather be ahead of people instead of in the back trying to fight my way through at that point, because that'd be a big issue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Riles and Thrasher, who are on laps, are invalidated, but Mac Bikeman on an outlap also invalidated. So I'm sort of wondering here, with Rice Cracker setting the oh, I see. That's why. Well, with Rice Cracker setting the benchmark time, can Atlantis beat it?
I think so.
What can Atlantis do? Atlantis has never started on the front row in this league. He's currently on the front row. Rice Cracker never been into Q3. He's on pole right now. And Will Cromack has got a top 3 starting spot for the first time as well. And also, let me point out too, JNT, the last time he started this well, I want to say, was back at USA, a 3rd place starting spot. And the last time that happened, it was also a wet race. By the way, just to go back to Singapore, which was a wet race too, it was a Pluto Sam pole. The gap was 6/10, but also not to mention too, in that race, when that was the case, as Mac Bikeman starts a lap, when that was the case though, you had to be on the right tire at the right time, because it was wet for the start. It was a wet start for the first couple laps, then switched to dries, then switched to wet at the final couple laps. And yeah, Mac Bikeman is
Oh my,
somehow,
what
never
the?
mind, he's invalid.
Oh
I
my
don't, that's an
god.
interesting line. But what happened last time at that race, though, with the way it played out, it was Atlantis' first start, and it was the last time Atlantis was in an Aston Martin full time, by the way, or at least as a reserve back then. This time he is full time in an Aston Martin. He was able to get a podium out of that, and so was Polo and a Haas. So you don't know how it could go with the way it shaped up. It was a Williams, Aston Martin, Haas podium in that race. So, I mean, this is going to really shape up to be interesting. But first, we have drivers who are starting their final laps or their final lap. Who knows? Communist crosses the line, starts a lap. Rice Cracker starts a lap. He is currently on pole, but Communist and the rest of the field are chasing Communist and Mac Bikeman yet to set a lap. Here comes Communist. Sector 2, turn 3 and 4. Can he master this? Because he was able to master the Britain qualifying lap that set him on pole, but that was a wet session. This is the first time we've had a full dry Q3, and we are seeing what the driver's potential could be. Purple through Sector 1 for Communist.
Interesting, a 22.4. Very nice sector time. Is this just waiting. When do you brake? He's gonna brake right now. He's gonna clip the inside curve. Is he gonna use third gear? Yes, he is. Extra rotation. He's gonna push it out wide. Down the straightaway he goes. What will his middle sector time be? This is gonna be crucial for him. It's a 50.5. I don't know if that's actually purple or not. I'm pretty sure JT ran a
Yeah, probably
50.3.
not.
Through Cena now. Absolute guts through this corner. You need to be committed. He is committed. Is it committed enough? He's a little wide, but it works out. He kept it in the lines. Now, the driver's skill track right here. Last sector, final 2 corners. What can he do? Pushing the AlphaTauri all the way to its limit. Little arrow wash in the back, but you know what? He kept it going. Final corner. Absolutely nails it. Uses a little bit of the rumble strip. Down to the line. Keeps the car all the way to the left. No, he's actually going to plant it towards the middle. Angling it to the line. It's going to be P6.
The yellow flag, that's an Alpine. I think that might be Sam or Rowdy. One of them on an outlap. That's Sam, who's off. Rice Cracker invalidated that lap. Chad, I want your predictions for pole because we have Aston Martin starting a lap, and Rice Cracker will get a chance at another one, but he had to recharge and re-go. Ferrari crosses the line. That's Riles. He's going to start a lap. Next is the McLaren. That's Thrasher. He's starting a lap, so everybody getting the chance to get their final laps in here now. Will Cromack up 2/10 right now. Can this be a first pole in his 3rd ever league race? This is going to be an incredible one because he was able to get through Sector 2 well. Did get Sector 3 well. Come into the line. Oh, he's down. He cannot improve at all.
I believe
13 thousandths down. He may have to go again.
Wow. And tell you what, Riles Cracker through the first sector set a 22.2. That's purple. Purple middle first sector. What about his middle sector? He's shaping it up. He's towards the end of it. He's going to the driver's skill sector right here, sector 3. It's a 49.9. He's 34 1,000ths down on his time. But plenty more to go. Plenty more time. Can he get into the 29s? Could he do it? He's got a lot of fuel.
Good.
Absolutely committed.
Mac Bikeman. By the way, sorry to cut in. Mac Bikeman crossed the line, and he didn't have a lap in yet. He gone 7th.
Good lap by him. Riles Cracker. He had a little bit of arrow wash through Cena, but it looked like it worked out. As I believe, and Aston Martin's got slow. Atlantis is invalidated. Atlantis' qualifying for pole is over.
Yikes.
Through the final quarter for Riles Cracker. Can he improve on his time to keep pole position? To the line he comes. He's going to stay it to the left. Has it been a good enough lap? Is it good enough? No. 55 1,000 down. He's going to have another lap to do it. One more bite of the cherry.
J&T comes to cross the line. He's invalidated, but he's going to have to start another one. Riles is up 3/10 right now. Where does he go? He goes to the front row. Next is a McLaren. Thrasher. Can he do another one? Yes, he can go do another front row.
And he's crossed the line.
Nobody so far can beat Rice Cracker as of right now. And you're right, he did cross the line. Rowdy Pitts, he's done. Sam is invalid, by the way. So Sam and Alpine start 9th and 10th. Mac Bikeman, he is done with his lap. J&T only a 10th down in the first sector, but where he lost the time he did on the rest of the lap was for the 2nd and 3rd sector, so he still can improve. Communist backed off that one. Will Cromack backed off. Atlantis backed off. Riles backed off. The only hope for this, as you mentioned, was J&T, and he's off. Thrasher may be the only one who can say something, and he's on a last lap, and he did not get the chance to recharge, but he is coming through the 2nd sector. Now he may get a little bit of a tow. Now, through sector 2, a 10th down.
Does he have enough fuel? Does he have enough fuel or battery. He doesn't have enough battery. He's got 2 laps, 0.2 laps of fuel left. I don't know if he's gonna actually make it, but if he does it, what a run by him! Front row of the grid. Absolutely incredible by him.
Either way, if he can complete this lap, it's still been an impressive run because he, for the first time in a McLaren, has gotten himself in the front row. Here comes Thrasher to the final set of corners. Can he have enough fuel to finish his lap or to at least improve? He lost a little bit of time with that slide off the final corner.
And
He's out of fuel.
Oh.
Rice Cracker is going to be on pole for the first time in the league and for the first time that he's made Q3.
And is that Mercedes' first pole ever?
Yes. Yes, it is.
There it is. Another first for the season.
This team has the least amount of constructors points in this league, and now they have earned themselves an extra point to start the season. They only had last week with Burning Man to start the season, but now they've got 2 with Rice Cracker.
Incredible. Great job by Thrasher and Riles. Disappointment for Alpine. I want to say also disappointment for Aston Martin. I think they had a really good shot at pole.
Well, Rice Cracker, his mate Blugagi, got the race ban, but he's going out there for him and proving that he can still have it in him. He can still have it in him because these first couple races has been a struggle for him. He's yet to score a points finish in this league. He's got a point from fastest lap last season, but he is on pole right now with the extra bonus point for that. So he scored bonus points, but not actual points finishes. Rice Cracker on pole, ahead of the McLaren of Thrasher, and it is close through 2nd through 4th. I will tell you that right now. So Thrasher, a good starting spot for him. Best starting spot so far in the McLaren for him, by the way. Riles, best starting spot in the league. He's on the 2nd row. Atlantis, also up there in the Aston Martin in his return. Will Chromac, a top 5 starting spot. Communist in the AlphaTauri. J&T next, Mac Bikeman, and then the 2 Alpines who had a really, really poor session. I really feel bad for them. I don't know what's going on. Both of them, 9th and 10th. So the 3 teams that were all together in this session, the McLarens, 2nd, 8th, Rice Cracker, sorry, not Rice Cracker, Aston Martin, 4-7, and 9-10 for the Alpines. Wingo should probably get an invite back to the session here.
Who needs an invite?
Wingo.
Alright.
You are right, though. It is cloudy. So does it start raining in the formation lap, or does it start raining a couple laps in? We'll have to find out. But my goodness, Lando, what an interesting session right there.
Incredible. I mean, that had to be the most closest and most entertaining qualifying all season
Since
of
Portugal.
the whole league. Besides Portugal.
Since Portugal, though.
Yeah. I mean, what a job by everybody. The top 9, by the way, if we count out Sam, top 9 were only separated by 6 tenths. Again, we're going to have an absolute cracker of a race. Hopefully.
Well, I think even if, you know, the rain comes anyway, and it is the dry patch at the end, you're still going to see the usual close quarter racing that you've been seeing in this league to start the league so far. We'll talk about the tires that people are choosing to start on right now, but we'll also go through favorites in a moment after that too. Wingo has to join in, and I believe I just saw some raindrops coming down. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lando, about that. But anyway, tire choices from these drivers.
It's raining.
It is starting to rain. Yes, it is starting to rain, but it is not enough for inners. Here we go. Wingo and Blossom starting on the mediums. Everybody else on the softs. Jab has been disqualified. So let's go through 2 favorites in this one. I'm going to start with Davis. Davis starts back at 18th. The last time a race was on my birthday that I commentated, or was scheduled on my birthday to commentate, Xbox servers, you suck, by the way, Davis won that race. It was rescheduled for the Sunday instead of the Friday that time, 2 years ago. So Davis, I think he's a favorite here. He had great pace last season, but he just got taken out. He's got to hope for himself not to get taken out this time. I'm also going to go with, well, Chromac. You know, this is a track that people have mentioned is a lot much more car dependent, and he has showed great pace with his Red Bull this weekend, much farther ahead of his teammate Blossom, 3-0 to teammates, 3-0 and making it to Q3. He's just got to make sure he has the right strategy. He's in parties with Pluto, races there, so he'll have a lot of insight with those people, because you know, they're people who know a lot when it comes to these type of situations. So I think Will benefit with that. Will benefit. So anyway, 2 favorites from you, Lando, then the podium prediction.
I think the 2 favorites, right, for me, are P17 and P18. Horrid qualifying run by both of them. What can they do? Pluto and Davis. 17th and 18th. It's raining. One's in a backmarker card. It's absolutely shown up all season, all league. And Davis, that one-shot quality ban really hurt him, like you said. The streak continues. But what can he do? These are mixed conditions. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a race. And I think Davis is going to absolutely bring on a show as long with Pluto.
Next time we'll go with a different prediction and make sure we don't have the same. But either way, when it comes to the podium prediction, this could be a crazy race, and I think a lot of things have changed with the way this will go. I'm still saying Atlantis wins the race.
Ooh.
I'm going with Atlantis, Sam, and I'm going to go for a different spot on that third podium. I'm going to go with Polo God. And actually, no, I'm switching that. I'm switching. I'm saying Communist.
I'm going to go
Quickly.
here with Riles P3. I think Sam P2, and I think Rowdy might win this race. He'll show something.
All right, guys. Chat predictions for this quickly because we have 5 red lights coming upon us as the rain comes down. It's lights out and away we go. Racecracker got a good start. He's ahead of Thrasher and very clear. Already before turn 1, they're jockeying for position. And can we avoid the lap 1 trouble we saw last season? Racecracker out into the lead. And Thrasher and Riles who are side by side. We have a Williams around. That's Chungus at the back of the field. Hopefully he didn't collect anybody else, but it's just him at the back of the field and Mac Bikeman, as well as Wingo off.
The dream start for Riles Cracker, as there was carnage in the midfield like usual. Absolutely crazy. As Wingo was the biggest loser out of it, as they're heading down the middle sector. Riles Cracker already has a second of a lead. He's absolutely flown away from the field on the start. What a job by him, as they're all jockeying for position. They're all single file. This is the game of straight line speed, ladies and gentlemen. Is anybody wanting to dive it down the inside into the chicane? No, everyone's going to keep it reasonable. Or maybe no. We got a battle for 17th. Backman gets by Blossom.
How close do you want to go to push the limits? I think Blossom has damage. Yes, he does. How close do you want to go with these limits? Through the fast right-hander. Communist trying on Riles for third place in this race. How much do you want to try it? That's all dependent on that because it's going to get to a point where you don't want to leave it full throttle anymore. Here comes Kostag up to 9th place ahead of Rowdy. Rowdy back down the inside though. And Kostag is split between an Alpine Sandwich. Mac Bikeman also gets by. Chungus also gets by Burning Man. But with the positions gained on the opening lap, Communist up 1 for J&T, down 1 for Atlantis. Pluto with another one. He's gained 7 spots already.
Wow.
Polo up 4, Jab up 2, Davis up 2, and now Polo's up 5. Also up 5 is Kostag.
Incredible start by those guys. Davis only gained 3 on the start. But you know, it's not all that bad. As I really can't even see, even from looking at a TV, it is dark.
Oh, it is.
As
I mean, my outside view, by the way, it's so sunny outside that even looking at this, it's so dark. It's unbelievable.
This is incredible, and the rain isn't really settling onto the track, I don't really think.
No. But it is picking up, and it's going to continue to do so
There it
for
is.
the upcoming laps and for the upcoming time.
Shaping up
Here
a
we
move.
go.
Atlantis. This is just the AlphaTauri has slipstream and a better engine, as there's rain on the halos now, but there's no rain on the track. It's going to be interesting what race controller here does on the third lap. Oh, and Atlantis spun around! Oh, no! Oh!
He lost it off the traction, and that has cost him a chance at continuing inside the points. Davis also got by Jab right there. And that great start from Atlantis, or sorry, that decent start from Atlantis, I should say, has turned into a bad start now. He's got down to 17th place. Mac Bikeman also possibly has damage. Yes, he does. He ran wide there at the right-hander. Now we have Kostag and Sam Steed going side by side. There's a bit of contact. Kostag has to go out wide, but Sam Steed is not going to give this one up. Here we go to the final 2 corners. Kostag still keeping it around the outside while Sam is protecting it inside. Now to the inside for the final corner. Kostag getting ahead. And this train is going to be crucial to stay in DRS because we might not have DRS after a couple laps here as the rain continues to pick up. Thrasher fastest lap. Whereas Cracker leads. Pluto now fastest lap. And Pluto is shaping up a move on Sam Steed. Sam Steed around the outside of Kostag.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Kostag, that's 2 in for 1 right there, right? What he did.
We have a switch for the lead. Thrasher got it on Racecracker. Racecracker made a mistake.
Ooh.
We missed that there. We apologize for that. But this is crucial for this race, and especially who goes to the inners first or whatever happens, because you can see the rain is picking up. DRS enabled for now, but It could be disabled very soon. Here comes Riles on Rice Cracker. Not close enough, but the first move may involve Rice Cracker and
Oh,
Thrasher.
he's closing, but he keeps it behind. That would have been a silly lunge if he really went for it. But Kosag, speaking of him, the first two laps, he's done the same move, round turn 10, on the inside, on both of the Alpines, by the way. He did it on Rowdy, and he's done it on Sam. Kosag is below 10% on his battery. As Sam, is he gonna go for the move? Gets all the way up to him, he hits him, but he's gonna keep him behind. Wow.
Just focusing in the battle for the lead because I didn't want to miss that one. We had Rice Cracker challenging Thrasher again, and he's just getting ever so close. That McLaren straight line speed, though, is definitely what's helping Thrasher continue to stay in the lead in this race. Do we have anybody pitting yet for inners? Nobody as of yet. I don't think it would be the time, but what would be the time, though, is to relax and look at this DRS train because, again, DRS is enabled still in this race as the rain continues to pick up. Here's overtake for Rice Cracker for that slight second you saw.
Ooh,
now we have a move shaping up toward turn 1. Where does he go? He goes down the inside!
Down the inside! Can he do it? Oh, the crashing in the back. Mac is spun out of turn 9, I believe.
Can he get the lead if a safety car comes out right now? Rice Cracker is still side by side into turn 3 this time. Rice Cracker is still keeping it around. Keeping the track within the limits. Mac Bikeman out and leaving the session. Here comes Riles.
Riles out of nowhere saying, I want to have a go at him. But now, this is going to be absolutely disastrous for Thrasher. He's going to have about 5 cars right behind him with DRS. Who's going to be the first one to attack? It's going to be Riles. Down the back straight.
The thing that could prevent him from being overtaken by everybody is a straight line speed from the McLaren. Even with the straight line speed, Rice Cracker's got ahead. Look at the track. It's getting more wet. There's contact.
Oh, they're keeping it clean. A little contact, but they kept it civilized. As now.
Well, Chromac's off.
Oh, no. Here we go. This is, does he keep it behind? Yes, he does, Thrasher. He had a little look. Actually, he's going to go for it. He's a racing driver. Absolutely sent it through turn 10. Oh, here comes Riles. He wants to
Kostag's out.
No.
There might have been contact with Pluto. There's a VSC. Pluto was the one near him before that, and Rice Cracker trying to re-overtake Communist. Now it's upgraded to a safety car. We're going to see drivers pit for inners, surely.
I think,
Kostag out, Mac Bikeman out. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Pluto and Kostag were going side by side, and Chromac gets spun out, and Chromac down to 14th. We do see drivers pitting.
But what tire? Do they think it's inner? I do think.
Chromac's got a drive through. 5-second penalty. 5-second penalty for multiple drivers. We have a stack up at the pit lane.
Oh, what? Oh, we have a big problem. Big problem, Ryan.
Sam is stuck at the pit lane.
I don't know what's happening.
Sam is stuck at the pit lane. And Sam is lost. Sam has gone down to 15th, but for the lead, Thrasher will keep it for now after possible double stack from a lot of people and possible getting held in the pit lane. Pluto already gaining those positions, but losing out to Polo right there. 10 positions gained for Polo and Pluto.
Interestingly enough, I have no idea what just happened. I think somebody was going side by side. As look at the amount of penalties from this. Pluto, J&T, Riles, Communist. As there's going to be more coming out of the pits here. Blossom with a 3-second. What has gone on here at France? Will's got a penalty.
What even happened?
I saw an Alpine just stopped in the pit lane.
Well, yeah, I know. I saw that. That was just Sam. But we are now in the inner stage of this race. Well, Will and Burning Man drive-throughs.
Blossom's gone on
Blossom already had the 3-second. Well, Blossom, has he really?
Yeah,
Blossom already had mediums for Chromac, by the way. But Blossom, Blossom, yeah, he already had the 3-second anyway, but everybody else who has penalties, Communist, Rice Cracker, JNT, and Pluto, all have the 5 seconds, though. Oh, boy.
I'll check the race director and get an idea of what has happened, as this was on... Alright, so here it is. So it started out with Will speeding under the safety car. He's been given a drive-through. Communist is the first one with the contact, it says. It says severe collision with Riles Cracker. 5-second time penalty. Then Cracker got the penalty. Riles Cracker, my bad, got the penalty for the severe collision with MV. Then Pluto had a collision with J&T. J&T had a collision with Pluto. Burning Man speeding under the safety car. So that's what happened in the pit lane for the pits.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what's happened, but whatever has happened has absolutely screwed about 4 cars.
Oh my god, I feel bad. Well, I mean, before all that was happening with the safety car being brought up for Kostag, by the way, Kostag, oh, I feel
Unlucky.
bad. I feel
Very
bad for him and
unlucky.
Mac Bikeman. It's not the way they want to start this. I'm sure they would want to get to the wet period at least, but um, no, with the way it gone for everybody there, as Communist dips down to the pits. Was that late? No, it was way late. Wow,
Oh,
he's gonna concede 2 positions for that, and he has to stay behind J&T surely. Yes, he does. Rowdy and Will, though, are pitting, and Communist is trying to re-overtake them, but the thing is, he already committed to the pit lane in an incorrect manner, so that's
we've
not
caught
how you
another,
want to do
have we?
that. Yeah, we might have, but speaking of that, I want to also keep in mind at this stage in the race, and you might want to keep this in mind too, Lando. Communist already had the 10-second penalty entering this race.
Oh my
Mac
god, I forgot
already
about
had the
that.
3. He served that now. Thrasher leading, and he had the 5 entering this race as well. So, by the way, Thrasher's move on Rice Cracker, he gone down the inside, and Rice Cracker was alongside, and I think he was fairly alongside, but the thing is that, when he was alongside, him and Thrasher made contact under um,
Turn 10.
the right-hander,
Yeah.
yeah, turn 10, which caused him to lose a couple places, and I don't think he would have lost um, as many as he did to Riles too,
Yeah.
if it weren't for the safety car and if it weren't for the heavy contact it was. Kostag had got by Pluto, and those two were, or sorry, Pluto got by Kostag. Those two were trading spots, and that's what caused a position trade. Will Chromac before that spun in this chicane, resulting in him going to the back of the field. But the thing is, though, is after that, we saw Kostag get overtaken by Pluto, and then after that, he was just out of the race. I don't know exactly what for, but could have been the contact with Pluto, could have been contact with somebody else. I don't know. That's something I probably want to figure out from Kostag, his point of view on that. But
Yeah.
that's really crazy. It just shows again that this game is really poor with that 5-second penalties for just about everybody.
I sent
And
Rowdy an invite, by the way. He has
okay,
lagged
that's
out,
great.
and the AI, I think, has just screwed him because he's on medium tires.
Yeah, that's I'm telling you, Alpine will have a good chance for the constructors championship this season, but that's definitely what's going to cost them um, in the later stages of the season, or really in the right now in the season, because they need both drivers up there. Because even with the way things stand right now,
JT's electing the box to get rid of his
oh,
5-second penalty. A big shame, because I really don't know what has happened. I hope somebody's clipped it so we can look into this.
yeah.
Because I just think that somebody might have stopped. I really don't know what could have caused it. Maybe an illegal
Rowdy's car is
overtake?
pitting again.
JT's going on
Why?
mediums. JT's going
Is
on
he
the medium
really
tire.
now?
This is not
Oh,
driver error.
we have a crash. We have a crash. Atlantis is off, and he's got damage under the safety car. Somebody hit him,
Oh.
or somebody made contact, or he had to avoid somebody. Something along the lines of that happened, and he's got damage now. So Aston Martin, double trouble or double frustration for them.
What has happened?
And yet, wow,
This is
wow, we
absolutely
have seen
crazy.
utter chaos. We've seen utter chaos from this game and from the drivers to start this race. Well, with Thrasher having the 5-second penalty right now, and with the other drivers having the 5-second penalty, we'll exclude the other people with 5-second penalty. But Thrasher, with the 5-second penalty into this race, the running order would be Riles, Racecracker, and Communist. Running outside the podium right now is Paulo God. And these conditions sort of suit him, right? Well, Brazil, he took a pole. And USA, he was fastest in one of the qualifying sessions. So I'm interested to see what Paulo can do here for the rest of
Alright,
this
here's a
race.
quick update.
Same with Pluto.
On J&T catching to the safety car, by the way, he's running 100% with this, I think. I'm seeing no sliding, no nothing from him on the medium tire. And there's no vapor coming off. I don't want to say this is a USA Q1 situation that we had last
Oh
season.
boy.
But if JT has thought outside the box here, if he gets a really good restart and he passes cars, that has just gave him, I think, and maybe the win right here. If this call works,
I wouldn't say the win, but I would definitely say the chance at maintaining the lead if he does get it. And we'll have to see what goes on. Sorry,
this
Trident.
is
We'll have
super
to
interesting.
see what goes on with this. So I want you to have us lead us through the safety car restart. I've got to bear it back just quickly, but with that being said, Thrasher's the one who leads the safety car restart. Ahead of Riles, ahead of Ricecracker, but Thrasher does have that 5-second penalty, and JNT the only one on dry tires. Lead us away, Lando.
Well, here we go. Safety cars in this lap. We've been treated to about a great 4 laps. of racing. And now Thrasher is going to have to do the job of leading this field to the green flags to restart this race. How will he do it? When will he go? And how will the others react? And now the rain has come down. I think J&T's strategy has just utterly failed him. As Thrasher chosen to go, I believe he has. It's the green flag from him. He's got off the final corner. He's got a great start. As both of the Aston Martins pit, it's double trouble again for Aston Martin. As we're looking down the grid here, Thrasher is just clear away. He's gone wide in turn one a little bit. But behind that, everyone's kept it civilized. Everybody spread out a little bit. Nothing really big happening as one of the Red Bulls had just gone wide. Thrasher is getting a whole diffuser full of Ferrari and Mercedes. Now, this is where it's going to absolutely come down, as it looks like it's heavy right now. It is absolutely treacherous out here. Look at this.
Oh my god.
This
J&T,
is nuts.
Atlantis, both of the pits. Rowdy's got by Will Cromack. We have a battle for the lead once again. And we have a battle for second place once again. We have battles everywhere shaping up this field, and it could get crazier. This is not the last of it, I'll tell you that right now. And if you're a Sky Q or Sky Glass customer, you missed a lot. Put it that way.
Will going down the inside, Rowdy into the chicane. Burning Man's missed the chicane. He's going to have to use the access road. A little contact between Will and Rowdy. Yellow flags, that is only because... Oh, Burning Man's just cut the...
For the lead.
Burning Man has just not used the runoff area over there. He's just cut across the chicane, pretty much.
And
I don't know
you're
what
right,
we're gonna
it
do
has
about
got heavier.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll find
Look
out.
at the
But it
amount
has
of
got
rain.
heavier, so I know it has really picked up. I mean, J&T's strategy, if it was going to switch back, it looked like it was gonna, but then as soon as he got onto that, it just immediately changed.
As soon
And it
as
could
the
be wet
safety car-
tires really soon. Look
They
at
look at
the
the box.
downpour. Look at the... I mean, somebody will. Here we go, Rice Cracker.
You know what? He's going to do it. He's going to be the man that's going to try it. How long is it going to be heavy rain, though? Is this just a pass-through of 5 minutes? Rowdy's going to box. Will's going to box. Blossom's going to stay out. Burning Man's actually going to box, too. What about the Astons? I mean, it's gone absolutely wrong.
I really want your predictions, because this could be a race where you have to be on the right tire at the right time. Speaking about right tire at the right time, right position, right time for Polo God. Right now, even with Thrasher's time penalty, he'd be on the podium. And also, add in Communist, let's say he doesn't get that appealed.
Oh,
Pluto be on
spinner!
the podium. Yells
Spinner
flag.
in the back. It's Chungus. Chungus is
And
spun around.
he spun on the initial start, and on the safety car restart, it's not going well for him either. So, I mean, I'm just watching Thrasher right now, and I do see a little bit of struggling on the intermediates. Yellow flag. Is that somebody out of the race? Is that somebody out of the pit lane? No, it's just cars coming out of the pit lane. And Burning Man pitted for inners. Let's watch Rowdy and Burning Man. Yeah, look at that. Burning Man struggling, Burning Man around.
Wow. It is absolutely treacherous. This is almost like... I believe this is like a thunderstorm in the game. In-game, this is like
and
on caps
monsoon.
of a safety car.
Well, to put it in the lightest way, Rice Cracker gaining already 26.9 seconds behind. So if I'm Thrasher, if I'm Riles, if I'm the rest of this field, I'm pitting this lap.
Yeah,
you just
I
have
think
to
it's
be
time to box.
on the right tire at the right
Oh,
time.
contact!
Even if this is a...
Chungus and Blossom has had a tangle. They were aquaplaning off, hydroplaning, they were sliding. And Chungus has got in a 5-second severe collision with Blossom. I don't really know if that deserves a
Thrasher's
5-second.
off! Thrasher's off in the lead! And here comes a re-entrance right in front of Riles. He was just able to keep it in the lead.
This is absolutely crazy. It's flashbacks from Sachi. I'm sorry, Lando fans, but this is it. As they're boxing, I think it's time
We're
to
struggling
box.
to make the pit lane
Thrasher's
too.
staying out.
Thrasher didn't make it.
Thrasher's gonna
Oh
stay
my
out.
god.
Pluto's gonna stay out.
Polo
Davis is gonna
speed.
stay out. Jab! The back marker cars are gonna stay. Besides Thrasher, they're gonna take the risk and drive it. Blossom going round the outside of Chungus, but he couldn't get the grip down. That would have been a hell of an overtake for Blossom.
Burning Man off. Let's see what these guys pitting. Riles, Communist, Polo, they're all switching to wet tires. Communist has to serve that 5-second penalty, by the way, from the game. But I think the thing is here, Lando, we got to stay focused on the strategy, and especially where Rice Cracker's at, by the way. Where's he at? Let's see. Rice Cracker coming on the front straight now. Where's he going? Riles,
he's gonna be a
Polo
mile
coming out of
ahead.
the pit lane. He's ahead of Polo, but not ahead of Riles. So that's interesting how that's worked out. But anyway, I got to speak about the strategy, Lando, because this could rather be just a wet 5 minutes.
Communist!
Oh, Communist stuff.
Oh!
Lucky
Wow.
enough to keep it out of the wall, though.
Good save.
And he keeps going. But anyway, no, to continue. Will this be a wet patch for 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Or have the strategy from the top 4 worked out just perfectly, because could this switch back to inners before we know it?
Yeah. I mean, it switched from light rain to just natural monsoon right when the safety car came in. I'm wondering what's gonna happen. But Riles Cracker are in the catbird seat if these guys decide to box, and I think it's too late for them. 16 seconds.
Rice cracker.
Rice Cracker.
We got Riles and we got Rice Cracker. Well, to you it's
Rice.
Riles and Riles Cracker. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, jab also within a second of Davis. Davis close enough to Pluto. Davis started at the back of the field, so did Pluto. They were out in Q1. And look at how many spots they've gained. If they finish this way, that's really impressive to say the least. Here comes Rice Cracker once again on Riles. For 5th place, waiting in the wings is Polo. Then behind that is Sam and Aaron. They have chosen the right strategy at the right time. J&T, though, is not giving up because he's still on the intermediate tires. Here's Thrasher pitting. Pluto, nothing to lose, still staying out. Everybody else has pitted.
Interestingly enough, I think they've lost so much time. It's gonna all come down to where they file out. I think they're gonna file behind, right behind the hash of Polo. So where are they right now? They're coming to the front stretch. I think they're gonna be further behind, actually. Riles crosses the line. They're miles ahead. Oh, they might be behind the Alpine, maybe. Here comes Sam.
Maybe. Here comes Sam.
Thrasher gets ahead.
And he's out of the pit lane now. Yeah, Thrasher's ahead. Sam's Davis side by side with Aaron out of the pit lane. Now here's Jab side by side with Rowdy out of the pit lane for the brief moment. But positions are trading. Positions are swapping, and this is the way this race is going. Pluto now, by the way, 2nd place in the championship. Not much to lose. Communist goes by Rowdy as Rowdy has to go off and is having a bit of a lag moment. But with that being said, yeah, it's a matter of will this be a wet tire moment for, or wet tire gamble for 5 laps, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or will Pluto staying out work better for him in the long run? He's 2nd in the championship, as I mentioned, so not much to lose. He has to try something, and these guys are continuing to gain on him, but not at the pace I would definitely expect. You would expect maybe a bit more, but 14.0, that gap about, I don't know, 20 seconds ago was 15.0, so is this enough to be able to gain on Pluto? And how is Pluto doing on the intermediates right now? He's one of 2 drivers on the intermediates. Here's Davis on Aaron Ocon now. Davis side by side in the right-hander with Aaron Ocon. Contact is made, and Davis has to go off in the runoff for just a slight moment. Aaron is going to get ahead. Davis can't switch that one back just yet or at all.
So yeah, Pluto and JT, the bold survivors on wet tires, as the gap between Pluto and Riles has just fallen to 12.5 seconds. So it is definitely wet tires. The question is, like you said, when will it turn back to light rain? Or will it? Is this just gonna be how it ends? Who really knows?
That's what I wonder. Was he? I don't know. Jeff does that sometimes. J&T gets passed by Blossom.
I believe that was round the outside. Blossom. Blossom.
Yeah, he's going to save it. Okay. He's going to save it. We can survive. Speaking of surviving, Davis has survived behind Aaron for the time being. Speaking of surviving, actually can't survive that one, Burning Man. You've picked up a penalty. So, pitting is J&T, and we have a car off that's Burning Man. He has kept that in the race, at least.
Kept it off the barrier, I believe, too.
And we spoke about the gap gaining between Pluto and Riles. It's continuing to do so, but if this race switches back to inners in, let's say, lap 16, has this worked out or has it not?
That's the question. I think right now Pluto is just praying right now that absolutely nothing happens. Just drive and hope the rain eases off. As I don't really, at the moment, it does not look like it's gonna ease off.
No. It will at some point, from what the driver said. It said it should be dry at the end, but how dry at the end, though? Is it going to be dry
This is also
inners?
approximate weather.
Completely clear? It is, and you just don't know what could happen. Speaking of don't know what could happen, we don't know what could happen with this gap with Riles and Pluto, too. It's 9.4, 9.3. It's trundling down. And speaking of trundling down, we have a position. Sam and Thrasher, yellow flag.
That's
Burning Man again. I think that's at the exit of the pit lane. That's a safety car. He has got damage, and he's missing a front wing. He is still spun round and about to get lapped. What a struggle of a race it's been for Burning Man. He's trying to get to the pit lane, but he's going to be disqualified by the game. I would not do that. I would not do that.
Just loop it around. Loop around, bud. Loop it around. Just loop around. Don't make.
Now you got cars coming. I don't know.
What the?
So this has definitely changed the race for sure. With Rice Cracker got by Riles on the safety car.
Were they battling, maybe?
Not under the safety car, surely. Not under. No way.
Interesting,
He's gonna
interesting.
have to give that spot
I'll tell
back
you
by the
what,
game or
this
something.
this has just killed Pluto. I believe this has just killed
Says.
Pluto. Unless it just absolutely just turns into light rain here at the end of the safety car. But it's absolutely, I believe,
Mm,
killed Pluto maybe.
yeah. Chat, your thoughts. I'd like to see this. I mean, we have 11 people watching, not many people chatting. It's just, I don't, I don't know how this is going to work out because obviously Rice Cracker, you know, on the same strategy as Riles and Pluto and on the same race as Pluto now because he's within this gap that he would gain before. And it's, you know, like I said, it's still raining. But
It's
look,
pouring.
here's the thing. Last season in this race, Lando, it was a dry race, but we had Gagi and Boomer, two leaders at the front of the field on the safety car restart on the final one with a couple laps to go. And Boomer or Gagi, one of the two, whoever was not leading, I guess, had passed one another under the well, but I'd say not. Well, yeah, technically under the safety car, under what was going to be the restart, but it
Yeah.
was before the line. You're not supposed to pass before the start-finish line. Obviously, you know, there's some sort. It'll be a judgment call, and some stuff may apply. So obviously that can change. But the thing is, with Pluto being on inners and Rice Cracker being on wets here, you can't pass Pluto before the safety car line there at the start finish. So that's going to be something we'll watch out for. And we didn't mention this, but
Oh,
JNT
he's
off the
boxing.
inners. Pluto is boxing. Yeah, interesting.
Hopefully they.
He's giving up on
Oh,
that. What? What?
yeah.
What?
I said I was about to say the game might not like that. I said the game might not. Watch out, everybody. I don't know what this
What?
AI is doing.
And Pluto, for the first time, is not gonna score points. That is really
That is.
unfortunate. Wow.
This is the problem with France. It's happened to every single league race with a safety car like this. For some reason, the game doesn't register that you're actually going into the
What?
pits. And it showed him as passing the safety car. And it's
Burning
so
Man's out
disqualified
too
him for it.
in the pit lane. He's retired.
Oh, Aaron spun
What?
under safety car.
I can't believe what this race has just shown us. Unbelievable. I feel bad for Pluto. And yeah, his consecutive streak of finishing races is not going well now. And look, it's not even something to do with his own doing. It's not even his own doing. Wow. And I
Yeah,
would say, you know, Kostag would mention, are we too far in for a restart? It is past halfway, so I would not want
that's the
to
sad part
try to
about
restart at
this.
that point. Yeah, that's the thing. If it was before halfway, I would have at least considered it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
Just to explain what just happened, in the F1 game, and it's seen at a couple tracks, but most notoriously, it's this track. Whenever you have a safety car in this game, if you're the leader, and it's France, so the pit lane, it doesn't register it until you're
What?
actually at the front stretch. That's how it works for some reason. They haven't fixed that. So it still goes by how in F1
Hopefully it's fixed
2019
next
it
game.
was. So
That's
Pluto
crazy.
got
Hopefully we don't
disqualified for
have...
technically passing the safety car illegally,
Hopefully...
but it
Yeah,
didn't.
hopefully we don't have any more retirements. That's a really bummer. Still penalties for Communist, still penalties for Blossom, and race penalties for Thrasher. But Rice Cracker will be leading the safety car restart with Riles and Polo 2-3. But that is really unfortunate. That's not the way Pluto wanted that race to end. And Davis spoke to me pre-race, and he's running 6th, by the way, right now. He said, I need the championship contenders to have some trouble. Maybe I have a chance for this championship. And Sam is running 5th, championship leader. Pluto is running 20th. So Pluto and Sam both know what it's like to be disqualified from a league race now in URS. Rice Cracker controls this restart, and he chooses when he wants to go, but he has to keep the constant pace under the safety car. He is leading this in the treacherous conditions on the wets and at a chance for a first win. A first win for Mercedes, a first win for him. Here he goes off the final corner. He should be going
He's
about
gotten that
now. He
green flag, yep.
slides, he goes, and he is away in the lead of this race, ahead of Riles, ahead of Polo. Then comes Thrasher and Sam. Here's Sam trying to make a move on Thrasher before turn 1. Atlantis, also by Blossom. Blossom with a struggling restart. Here comes Chungus now. J&T's past Aaron. We have somebody who went off there at turn 2, I want to say. But anyways,
Aaron's going for a move on J&T.
Sam's going for a move on Thrasher while you speak of that too. Sam
Oh,
for 4th place in this race.
I believe either Will or Blossom's gone off. Blossom has gone off in the Red Bull. He's kept it safe though.
Sam and Thrasher made a bit of contact. Blossom, yeah, he was the one off, I think. Communist, side by side with Jab, losing the rear. Sam by Thrasher. He's fully clear now. Thrasher's lost it!
Oh,
Around!
no!
Oh,
Oh,
man.
that's heartbreak. Chug is shaping up a move on Atlantis for P10. He's burning the battery. Is he going to go for a dive bomb? No, he's going to actually have to stay behind. The Aston's got enough speed, but he's going to get another run at it. Another bite of the cherry. He keeps the door open. Atlantis keeps a nice car with a little contact. But it's going to be Atlantis that keeps the spot.
And it was spoke about. Oh, Chungus losing the rear. Sorry, not focusing on that. But, you know, some spoke about in the chat is about Rice Cracker passing Riles under the safety car to get the lead. That may be something being investigated in the closing moments of today. So, Chungus staying ahead of Will Cromack, trying to get ahead of Atlantis for a points-paying position. And Wingo, we've not spoke a lot about him. He lagged out. He's now running in the points, so he has a chance to get himself a points finish for Alfa Romeo for his second race in the league. But Pluto is
JT. Ooh.
frustrated with Burning Man and frustrated in general from that safety car, from the first safety car being caused, and with the stack up at the pit lane and to everything else. I will tell you right now, Pluto does have a reason to be frustrated. It's got him disqualified, and this could be the thing that could cost him a championship this season. Another championship at back-to-back, because it was Sam ahead by 4 points entering this race, and now it looks like it'll be completely different. With that being said, though, this could blow the championship wide open. With the way Sam's race has gone, will he stay fourth? Will he lose out? I don't know. But this could blow the championship wide open for anybody else to have a chance. Riles, he would score points last week. 8 points for him. Running second right now. Could be first soon. And the thing for Riles is that he would be up in the top 5 in the championship. With that being said, I wouldn't want to rule out the Haas drivers, because for constructors-wise, this helps them. 3rd and 7th right now for Paulo and Jab. Running really well in this race. They've really been patient and calm with the way they've approached this. You know, nothing too severe, nothing pushy. They've made the moves when they've needed to at the time they've done so, and it's got themselves up in 3rd and 7th, and especially with the strategy too. Rain is still, when it comes to this forecast, rain is still coming down. If it's supposed to dry up at the end of the race like they said it would, I'm just really curious about how quickly it changes to dries, how quickly it changes to inners, and will even be enough for dries at the end of this race, and how this could change the running in this race. Paulo on the podium right now, Riles on the podium, Rice Cracker on the podium. Rice Cracker never seen the podium, never seen the top step of the podium in this league, never seen a points finish yet. Leading this race, Riles, a best finish of 4th, or maybe 5th. I don't remember. One of the two. J&T goes by Will Cromack. Blossom picks up a penalty. And while we mentioned Riles, yeah, never seen the podium either. Polo, he has seen the podium in a Haas, but nice one. He's had a lot of bad luck last week and throughout this week. RPL earlier yesterday, he retired from that race at a chance where he could have had a possible podium or a possible top 5 finish. Could today be a day where he switches that luck around?
Yeah, it's all kind of calm right now, although Jab was looking at a move for Communist, but it's too far back. As Wingo, just a quiet race, P9, he is on a wet setup, so I must be feeling a little more confident than the other drivers. But he's just got to break into Rowdy's gap here, as there's 2 trains starting to form, the lead pack and where Wingo is. It's just behind that is Atlantis and Chungus. They're still just stuck behind. This is the main problem with France. It's just, you're just stuck. You got nowhere really to go.
Even that can happen in a DRS train, and that can just happen in the wet conditions too. And we are aware that Riles did get passed into the safety car. We'll leave it to the stewards to decide if that was anything illegal or legal. But as of right now, Rice Cracker leading this race. The rain, Lando, would you say it's easing a bit or staying just about the same?
It definitely has.
Staying about the same
I want to say it's cleared up a little bit.
Yeah, it's staying about the same for these tires, but it's... Yeah, I'd say it's easing up just a little. Just a little, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Not enough for inners, but Sam deploying URS, trying to stay in 4th place right now, ahead of Davis, ahead of Communist. Communist, with his 10-second time penalty, would be put out of the points right now, and would be 11th, or at least below 11th. And that would put Chungus in the points. And Communist picks up another penalty, so now that is 16 seconds. And yeah, heading into this race, Thrasher also had a penalty too. He sits 16th. Not the race he would have wanted. Only 4 retirements, and last season we saw a safety car that changed the race outcome completely. And that was because of T Blossom. He's staying in this race for now. He's 15th. And he's had a quiet day. I mean,
Rowdy,
he's had...
big slide. He's kept it going.
He's had... He's losing time from that, though. But, yeah, I was going to say, Blossom's kept it in this race, and even though he's got into trouble, he's at least finishing this race. He's at least completing all the laps, and I'm sure that's what he's wanted to do. Sam has gotten himself under a second to Polo, and this is for the podium. Davis also lurking behind with Communist and Jab to follow. Rowdy, like you said, with his slide, 2 seconds behind, and then you have this train for points right now. Will Chromax in it, J&T's in it, Chungus, Atlantis, Wingo, all jockeying for position and trying to keep that position as Chungus on J&T.
Atlantis. He's gonna go for the move. Here we go. Round the turn 9. Is he clear enough? No, Wingo's gonna keep his foot in it. Into Cine. How are they gonna have to settle this one? Chungus is going for a move on Wingo. Chungus is gonna go for a double. No, he's gonna keep it on Wingo.
Yikes.
Little contact, a bit of a squeeze. Was there damage? JT's gonna go wide around the outside. Can he keep it going? Yes, he can. As Wingo falling down the order.
Lost 9th to 12th there. He's just lost out majorly, Wingo has. And look at this. Will Cormac down the inside.
Wow.
They touch.
Oh, he didn't
Luckily
leave the space.
save it.
Wow.
Luckily they save it. How? I do not know.
Yeah, Wingo didn't leave enough space there. Will was also just too far alongside, but great save by both of them. They kept it civilized. And now Aaron going by Wingo. And just like that, in a matter of seconds, Wingo was in 9th. Now he's down to 14th.
No, Blossom's pitting for the wets, by the way. Oh, Aaron and Wingo side by side. They keep it really close and pinch each other. Now here comes Wingo back at it on the exit of turn 2. Making a move right here, but he cannot get himself alongside for turn 3. Aaron not had the best of races and not had the best start of seasons, though. Last season, he started the season out with winning his first ever league race and was able to take a podium at the 4th race of the season in Bahrain. Had great pace at China. Had not so great pace at USA, but he is starting off the season not so well in the Ferrari, but I will say an improvement for him is the penalties. He's yet to have a penalty in this race, and I do want to check the warnings very quickly for Aaron Ocon. Aaron Ocon does have 2 warnings.
Okay, just don't say anything else about him. Don't, just...
Maybe I will.
Nothing.
You want to be right on that guess, don't you? You want to be right. You want to be right.
Yes, I want to
know
prove
you do.
everybody. I will support him. As Polo has
True.
been managed to catch Riles. This
But
is...
he's also brought some cars along with him.
He's brought a lot of cars. But you know what? He's kept them behind, though. Sam really hasn't been gaining too much besides this last lap. So it's going to get interesting here. And like you said, with Rice Cracker and Riles. As Riles, is he boxing? Oh, he's
yes,
pitting.
he is.
Interesting.
Could this be
it's Sam.
the first move
Sam's
for
boxing
Inners?
too.
Could this be the first move for Inners?
Is
Sam,
this-
Riles, pitting.
Is this it?
And is anybody else? Rowdy is too. Also,
Here we go.
there will be a double stack for Alpine now, with that being said. Aaron Ocon, he's pitting too. It does look like
It
it's
is
dying
Inners.
down. It does look like it could be Inners. It is Inners for these guys. This is the first pit stops of this race for these guys. How will this be managed for Rice Cracker? Here's JNT, though, going around the outside of Chungus at turn 1, and now at turn 2 where they make contact. And now,
little bang.
JNT, a bit of overtake being used and trying to go ahead of Chungus before the braking
Should be
zone.
clear.
He's going to slot in on the racing line, but Chungus is still keeping his
Sense
nose
it.
in there, and JNT is ahead.
But for how long? I think he's cleared now.
Jab is also on the back of Communist while this stands too, and these guys should be coming in at the end of this lap. The intermediate tires, 9.9. It's a consistent, constant gap. He's gaining slightly, but not a whole lot. This could be a good outlap for Riles. This could be a good outlap or a good in-lap for Polo and Rice Cracker. We'll find out. Anyway, 4/10 between J&T and Chungus once again. Aston Martin, if they keep this up right now, they could see their first points of the season, while McLaren won't.
This is a really good rebound for Aston Martin. As like you said before, first couple laps of the race, absolute disaster. As I'm about to invite Aaron Ocon back.
If he's appeared online, I can get him quickly. No, I can't. He's not appeared online, so You can get him back in. Jab is ever so close to Communist to making a move, and you know he wants to get by because he could see himself at a chance for a podium. That gap between Riles and Wingo, it's cutting down. It's 8 seconds. Rice Cracker's into the pits now. Here's Polo now. Polo goes a bit wide and he struggles, but he's in the pit lane. We have a crash. That's Thrasher and Blossom at the chicane. I think Blossom was the one who spun by himself. Thrasher wasn't too close, but he had to take avoiding action. 3-second time penalty for Wingo. And onto the intermediate tires goes everybody pitting this lap, but Davis and Communist stay out.
This is it. This is going to be the money stop right here by everybody. And obviously, there's a lot more cars into the pits. Aston Martin's doing a double stack.
Riles is on the front straight now. Where does he come out in comparison to Rice Cracker? He's going to be side by side out of the pit lane, and he's ahead!
Out of the pits, he's ahead. Riles Cracker
Sam is ahead too of Polo, and that's for a podium, by the way.
Wow.
Atlantis has just slided in behind Jab. Rowdy's got ahead of Jab, and this has also worked out for Aaron Ocon's AI because even though he's lagged out, he's not lost too much time, and he would be at a decent spot if he didn't lag out.
I sent him another invite. There he is. He's joined back, and he can continue his charge.
I did mention, you know, when we saw an Alpine lead a qualifying session, a Mercedes lead a qualifying session. By the way, in the same race, we did see a Ferrari go on to win, and we could be seeing that with Riles today. Rice Cracker 6/10 behind. Could he also be getting a post-race penalty, Rice Cracker, for the incident under the safety car? We'll just have to find out. And Sam, crucially, is 3rd place. Net P3, actually, I should say. 6th place, but net P3. That will help him out a lot if he is able to finish where he's running right now.
As this is really hard to get AlphaTauri right here. As I believe both of them are going to pit. No, Communist is going to stay out one more just to avoid the double stack. As it's just not worked out.
They have to try something different, and if you want to win, you might have to try something different. But look at the rain now. It's very, very, very
light.
Light, yes. Thank you for finishing that sentence because I wasn't sure what to say. And coming out of the pits will be Davis now. He's going to lose out to where he was at. He should be just barely inside the points or barely outside. He's going to get passed by Atlantis, Jab, Davis. Coming out alongside Chungus. He's going to blend in just alongside and slightly making contact, slightly touching, but he's inside the points, Davis.
Nice.
While that
close.
happened, JNT got by Wingo, and it is crucial to mention that this rain is dying down to the point where we could see dries at the end of this race. Curtis Faded, that's a name I've not seen in a long time. Go on Com, he's rooting on Communist. Well, Communist would still be inside the points based off the 6 seconds. I'm not too sure on these 16 seconds of penalties all added up by his penalty coming into today, but yeah, he would actually be inside the points just barely. But if he continues to stay out here, he may lose out, he may not. But first going to lose out, Riles and Will Cromack. Will Cromack still in the wets, Riles on the inners, and Rice Cracker is still there to challenge. Rice Cracker exceeding the track limits while at it too. But this could be what could decide the net race to win. Here is Riles on Will Cromack.
Got to make this quick.
Will Cromack is alongside and is going to go down the inside. Rice Cracker is getting caught out behind, and he's going to go side by side there. He's got ahead. He's lucky to get ahead at the time he did, because if he got held up any bit longer, that could have been chance over at Riles. Communist pits. So does Will.
Tell you what, that benefited Sam out of the most of it. Sam gained about half a second just because of that.
But is it enough to get Sam under a second and within striking distance? Here's Rice Cracker once again challenging Riles for the race lead. This time, it's on the opposing side. Sam, we have softs for Communist. The track is, by the way, it has stopped raining completely, but it is still a wet track. So, we'll be seeing drivers possibly elect for the softs if it's enough. And will it benefit anybody up at the front of the field? We have soft tires for Communist, and this could be his only chance for points after having to pit. But 4/10 again, separating the race lead between Rice Cracker, Riles, now up to 7/10, and this gap keeps increasing for Riles. It gets crazier and crazier for his benefit. Now, overtake engaged, 6 tenths back right there. By the end of the straight, he's going to be at least under 4 tenths. Look at that, 4 tenths back, 3 tenths now. And Rice Cracker, his straight line speed against the Ferrari is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's there. And you know what? He could go for an attack right here. He's not close enough as Riles is depleting a little bit of the battery. He's not below 10%, but he's going to start feeling the hindrance right here. Shifts down to 7th. And Riles still pulling away. Is it going to be enough, though?
Keep in mind, sorry to cut in. Keep in mind, we still have the big battle. 5th on back. Atlantis on the back of Jab and is not close enough for an overtake. Will any of these drivers go to soft tires at any point within the next upcoming moments? Because the track will dry up, but will it be enough for softs? Rice Cracker, he looked like he was thinking about it with the line he chose, but he is starting to struggle.
Oh, Riles
Paulo
struggling.
stays out. Sam, Rowdy, everybody else is staying out, and it looks like that may be the way it will be. And even if it is enough for the soft tires, are you going to have enough time to gain? Look at Communist right now. He's losing time, but within these next couple laps, when the track starts drying off, if it does, you do expect the soft runners or dry tire runners, whatever tire they choose to go to, it probably should be softs, to start to gain on these guys.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial right now just to keep it on the road. As Blossom spun again, he's hit the wall and he's out.
Out, and this could bring out a safety car. This is the second time for the second season. It has. Oh, this is controversial at its finest. Look where he's DNF'd right there.
He spun.
Oh,
he spun. I can confirm he's lost the rear. He lost the rear out of the car. Corner.
I mean, last season though, it was not losing the rear. This season, losing the rear. But this is really making things interesting.
We
Third
have
safety
been
car in this
treated
race.
again to another.
And I will tell you right now, even though the track is still wet, it is getting drier. Look at Communist's pace when gaining under the safety car to Will Cromack. He was gaining just slightly. Rowdy TJ Boy will need another invite.
I got him.
But wow, this could get good.
This is going to be
These
interesting.
drivers have to make sure that they enter the pit lane correctly, or they will get a time penalty for it. I did Rowdy 5 second.
What the hell?
Okay, game. I did see Polo enter the pit lane very interestingly earlier, and I didn't say anything about it because I didn't know what to make of it. He stayed on the white line, but he was not fully all the way to the right. That'll be interesting by the stewards what they choose to do with that. So we'll find out. Anyway, Riles.
Oh, is he gonna
this
pit?
race right now? Is he going to pit?
No.
For soft tires? No, he will not. Rice Cracker will not either. Nor will Sam. Polo won't either. Rowdy leaving the session, or trying to come back, I guess. Is anybody else going to choose to pit? Is it enough
Anybody
for
feeling
soft
risky?
tires? Nobody's feeling risky. Nobody.
Wow.
Nobody. I'm surprised.
Not even
about
JAT.
that. I really am. Not even Wingo.
What about Wingo?
Yet.
No.
And Communist
Eric?
is out. That's a
Eric feels
6th car
special?
out of the race.
Nah.
It's a bit disappointing that we have 6 retirements in the closing stages of this race. Communist
tell you
must have
what.
DNF'd on the softs, though.
If we look at the bright side, only one of those was a retirement in the pit lane, I'm pretty sure. So the drivers have kept their foot in
been a
it, even
troublesome
if they're
race.
way behind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to DNF at France. With that being said, a Williams out, a McLaren out, an Alfa Romeo out, Mercedes out, Red Bull out, and an AlphaTauri out. 6 different teams.
And Rowdy has joined back, and he hasn't lost any positions because of it. But he has a 5 second for no reason.
Yeah, he should be able to get that appealed. And anybody who is looking to get any previous 5 second appealed besides Rowdy, their chances of doing so are pretty much over because of the way the rule works. But with that being said, 14 viewers. If you're a Sky Glass customer, well, what the hell have you missed? That's the thing. Either way, tuning into the live action, if you want to choose to press the red button or want to choose to press the Twitch clip button or come back and watch after the race is over, I think you should do so because this race has been a thriller. The safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. With that being said, the Aston Martin safety car does not have its lights off yet. Now it does.
There.
So
Here we go.
this could get interesting. Riles, safety car, leader. Rice Cracker behind, then Sam, then Polo. And this is crucial moments for Sam's championship to extend the lead. We go into this race, by the way, with... What was Rowdy's car doing? We go into this race with an off week coming up next week. And a chance for anybody to rebound. Sam right here has to make the most of this one right here. Because Pluto's out of the race. Davis is only a best of 8th right now, so Sam has to make the most of it. Speaking of make the most of it, your race leader has never won a race, never stood on the podium, nor has Race Cracker, and we are looking to go away in just a moment to restart this race. Riles
Track is getting
with the
super
lead.
dry.
It is, it is. Does anybody choose to pit for softs? It was only 2 laps, but we'll see.
It's too late.
Riles is still waiting. Coming to the final corner. He's going to accelerate now. He's away
flag.
and he's going. Race Cracker got a bad restart and he's getting challenged by Sam for 2nd place before the start-finish line. And Sam is not close enough. We have a battle for 5th now. Jab and Rowdy pulling the slipstream and trying to break off that one. And Jab has got a good restart over Atlantis because he has pulled him out of DRS. Even though in these last 2 laps, there will be no DRS.
I'm super surprised no one went on softs because I think it's soft tire right here, right now. I think everyone's kind of lost that chance. As Riles is just absolutely gone right now. As Riles Cracker has a little bit of a slide.
Rear, you're right. And Rowdy still has a chance, even with the penalties,
Wow,
lagging a
the
bit
understeer.
though. And here comes Polo being challenged, and he could have challenged Sam Steed for this. Polo also having a bit of a moment there. Here goes Rowdy alongside Polo
It's
for
bone
a
dry.
chance. It is. It really is. I do not understand why no one got softs there, or no one tried to. Rowdy ahead of Polo. And now Polo challenging back at this, but Polo going inside of Rowdy, and that's a bit of contact there, but Riles
kinda hot.
still leading the way. In the Ferrari. Ferrari have not won since Imola. That may seem like a long time, but considering they have the most wins in this league, that is a long time for that team. Polo is still sitting behind Rowdy for 5th place. Jab, the teammate, also challenging with Atlantis, hungry behind too for Aston Martin's first points. As things stand, though,
Oh my.
they would be getting it.
It is super dry. Holy moly.
Oh my god.
They gotta. Again, I'm absolutely surprised nobody wanted to.
Race Cracker goes a bit wide off the last corner.
Oh.
Here's Sam's challenge to challenge for a 3rd straight 2nd place in
This
the
is his best
3rd
chance.
week of season 2. It is his best chance. Here he goes. Can he
He
look
said he's
for
not
a move?
afraid
No,
to
he
make
can't.
moves. Too far back. Kept it in.
You
Kept it in
can't make a move
himself.
when you're too far back, though. Here's Chungus on Davis at turn 1. Chungus goes by, and just ahead of that,
Oh! Thrasher and
Sam.
Aaron, contact!
oh, they slide at turn 1, and Thrasher's off. That's not the first time they've collided, but Riles already out to a 2nd lead. He's never stood on the podium before, especially the top step of the podium. He's looking for his first and a chance, possibly, at this championship this season. Here comes Sam with overtake. Much battery to use compared to Rice Cracker for 2nd place in this race.
That's so much.
Sam trying for the 3rd week in a row to stand 2nd place in the podium. Wingo goes by J&T, but Sam not close enough just yet behind that.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Jab. You're right, he has gone wide. Here's the exit speed. Sam
This is it.
alongside, and this is his chance at 2nd place on the podium. They're both going to stand on the podium right now, but Sam, this is his only chance for 2nd place. He cannot do anything now,
he's
but he
gone
goes
wide.
wide, Racecracker. And
we
now,
go.
Sam Steed going down the inside, side by side. They make contact. Sam's around. Unbelievable.
No. Oh, it's gone absolutely wrong.
No, that's
It's
not
gone
what Sam
wrong.
wanted. That's championship implications. Here's Atlantis for 5th place in this race. Oh, he just can't make anything of it. But Riles, who took the lead and has kept the lead ever since, he never has stood
Rowdy's
on the
gone wide.
podium in the league. He never has stood on the podium in the league. And he
Rowdy's gone
never
wide.
saw a place higher than 4th. But today is the day for Ferrari and Riles to take the win. Riles, for the first time, wins in France. Rice Cracker a first podium, and Polo God will see the podium
Haas
again.
did it. Haas did it. They did
3rd
it.
and 5th. Wingo was looking to be in the podium, or sorry, the points, and he has binned it. And something happened on that last lap. Sam could only manage 9th. Davis 7th. But oh my goodness. Riles has won a race for the first time. At Rice
Carnage.
Cracker,
Wow.
a podium for Mercedes again. And how about that, Polo? How about that? Polo God is
did it.
back on the podium. He's back on the podium.
Haas did it.
Oh my God. I should have took more water. I would have been able to yell about that. How about that?
Haas masterclass. They did it. They made my team proud. Oh, what a race.
And with Rowdy's lag out, with Sam's incident, Haas could potentially be the top 3 in the constructors for sure. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past it. And as Riles' friends always say, don't count him out. We didn't count him out today. He's taking his first win.
Hey,
Congratulations to Riles.
I just wanna say something real quick. Aaron finished the race with no penalties.
There you go.
He
You're
did
right
it.
about that one.
I finally won it.
3 different nationalities in the top
Yes.
3. Riles becomes the 3rd different winner this season, the 6th different winner in the last 6 races. Never sleep on Riles. We know that one for sure. Unbelievable. Polo is on the podium in a Haas. I did not want to say it before the race because I knew I'd curse him, but you knew I had that thought right in there that Polo would be on the podium, and he has. How about that? He is definitely hyped up about that one. Haas are back on the podium. Haas have
let's
not seen
go.
the podium since Singapore last season, which was the last wet race.
He did it.
Oh my god.
We'll give the drivers about a minute or two to debrief about that race, but oh my goodness, what an ending, what a way that was.
That was beautiful.
Polo, I'm not playing F1 2021, I already am. So, with that being said, we'll get the to include their audio to join in on that. First podium for Riles, first win for Riles, first podium for Ricecracker, and Polo got his thing on the podium again, and he's done it for a 2nd season. Back on the Haas.
How?
Wow. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. What a good one. What a good one. I don't think you guys have anything much to say to each other, but let's start with our winner. We'll start with the guys who've had it first time up here, because I think they deserve the attention they need with their win and with their podium. Riles.
Let's go. It's about time,
For the
right?
first time. The first time. Took you 15 races, and it took you to switch to pad to be on the podium.
Yep.
You, sir, are a race winner in URS. You are the, I want to say 9th different winner. Let me make sure that's right. 9th different winner. Yep, I'm correct. 9th different winner in the league, but you are the 6th different in the last 6 races. Riles, you never seen the podium before. How's it up here?
Oh, it feels good. It feels great. You've given me enough crap about it recently for me to
Oh, I have.
be motivated to put myself up here. Insane race. I thought it was going to be, at least 5 or 6 laps before we went to the wet tires. But it was mostly wet. So, yeah, feels good to be up here.
Yeah, your best qualifying effort as well, I believe, I want to say. What took you so long to be up here?
Definitely switching to pad. I was stubborn last season and tried to do the wheel thing, and it just didn't work out. So made the switch, and here I am.
3 of the 12 races last season, you scored points in. Every other race you didn't. And your race today was an absolute commanding drive to get you a first win. Talk to me a bit about the race. Talk to me a bit about the season prior heading into this.
Well, last season I wasn't ever really at the front, so it feels good to be at the front now. I had a good little battle with Thrasher. Shout out Thrasher. And I really thought the Mercedes of Ricecracker was going to catch me. I just played the pit stops right and brought it home.
Congratulations on the win. Lando, do you have any questions for Riles?
The only question I have to say, and this is probably the question I'm going to ask for everybody else, did you ever think about pitting for the softs there? Because they dried out really quickly.
Yeah,
there
I
any
was
thought?
definitely. It was definitely a thought. I was surprised how dry it was by the end of that safety car. I probably should have pit, but I think everybody else hung on with me, so it worked out.
Tell you what, you drove an absolute beautiful race, lovely battles from you, and you take this win and build on it. Incredible job, man.
Thank you.
Well, now time to talk to our second place finisher, Lando. I'll let you handle that, but I want to mention before you do so, this is his first points finish, and this is his first podium while at it too in the process.
I'll tell you what, man drove his absolute heart out. Riles, Cracker, incredible job by you. First podium for Mercedes. You got the first pole for Mercedes. How are you feeling right now, bud? How
Uh,
is it?
I'm a bit shocked to be honest. Definitely didn't expect this today. Um, didn't practice at all to be honest either. So it's all kind of, just a sort of new chapter, I guess, for Mercedes. I don't really know what to say, but yeah, it's just something I'm not used to.
I'll tell you one thing from you. You drove an absolutely beautiful race. You kept it clean. Was there any thought that you thought, Polo, somebody else would catch you? Or did you just keep that in your mirror and just drove as hard as you could?
Um, I think it was safer not to check my rear mirror throughout that whole race, because then I probably would have started panicking. So I kind of kept the rear view mirror out of my sight, and kind of just focused on what was ahead of me. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, you drove a cracking race. Ryan, do you have anything for our second place driver?
Oh, you bet I do. You bet I do. It's your first pole and your first podium, your first points finish. I bring back the time last season, and by the way, it took you about 5 or 6 races to do so. But I bring back the time from last season, and you will remember this. I have to ask this question. When you replaced Kono Katori, I know there was a bit of criticism from certain person on the Twitter. You're like, Rice Cracker replacing me? Yeah, Kono had said, yeah, I don't think that's a good decision. Well, you've put yourself on the podium today, first points finish, and you've done well for Mercedes today. I mean, you had the pace.
Thank you.
You had a chance to challenge Riles. What do you kind of have to say about that now, looking back from your start, where you're starting the league, I should say, for the first 5, 6 races, where you only picked up the fastest lap point, and today you pick up a first pole point, first points finish, and a first podium?
Well, I think it's really what matters ahead and not really in the past. I mean, he can say what he wants, but I know deep inside that I've outdone Mercedes today,
Earned it.
and I have completely thrashed the park, in my opinion, with Mercedes. So it really doesn't matter about the past. It's more about what's ahead of me in the oncoming races.
Speaking of the oncoming races, what do you expect to do now that you've finally got this off your back with a first podium and a first points finish too? Look, I have to keep mentioning it because the thing is, if not for the first points finish, then where would you be without the podium? So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you expect with the upcoming races?
Um,
That was my question.
I hopefully expect a lot more points going up, sort of thing. But I can't make any promises considering my driving kept on slipping a little bit on the track, so I don't know if I will be getting any more points. But I just hope to, really.
Well, congratulations. Lando, anything else you wanted to say to Rice Cracker?
The only thing I gotta say is congratulations, man, and I hope to see you more on the
Thank you.
podium. You drove an absolute cracker of a race.
Thank you very much.
Very pun intended. Polo God is on the podium for the first time since Imola last season, and first time in a Haas in Singapore, which was our last rain race. Third podium for you, Polo. Polo, I think I helped you a little bit here. Formation lap, I'm like, all right, podium prediction. I thought about slotting you in there, and I'm like, hold on, no, not going to do that. Not going to curse him. I want to see him on the podium. And then I slotted Communists in there, and, I ended up cursing him. So I also mentioned you later in the race around lap 16, where you were running up there, close to the podium, maybe on the podium, whatever. I said, you know what, these conditions suit you, and we could see you on the podium again, just maybe, and it has paid off. Let me mention, this is the guy who said you're going to go 0-7 to jab this season. So far, you are ahead of him in 2-1. Yeah, 2-1 there. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about the podium.
Oh my, I'm completely lost for words at this point. So there was a bit of mayhem at the start. I gained like 5 positions because of that. Because I stayed on the inside of turn 2 when everyone died at the outside. Then I went on to inters, and there was a massive shit show in the pit lane, and I gained another 4 positions from that. So after the pit stops, I was P6, and then I just chilled there until I realized, oh no, it's actually wet conditions. I gained more positions from that, and then I was in a net. I was in P3 for a bit, and then I made a bit of a strategy error going on to into it a bit later than I should have for the second period of intermediates. I lost position to Sam, and then once the final safety car came out, um, it was just all about keeping my position and keeping P4. I got overtaken by Rowdy, which, by the way, he was lagging like crazy on the final part of that
So
race, which I have a clip of, which I will send in to the stewards. Um, and then all of a sudden, not only does Rowdy lag out, but then Sam like tries and goes for a move in Rice Cracker, which does not end up working. And all of a sudden, I look at my screen, crossing the line, I'm like, oh my god, I'm P3. Like, I'm pretty much lost for words. There's probably other moments I've completely like forgotten about, but what a race! What a race!
what did I tell you? You had the bad moment yesterday in RPL where you retired from the race and you were like, okay, like and you retired last week due to the personal reasons that you mentioned to me. You said, I need to stop letting my personal life affect my online life. And, I mentioned to you, I was like, hey, look, I mean, when something like that happens, I told you, how some good's going to come out of it no matter what, whether it be now, later, whatever. And it has with your podium. Were you thinking about that in the last 10 or so laps or when you were up there at all? And I got to ask as well, you know, what were the conditions like today?
I think I just once it turned wet, I found my spark again because like obviously my motivation was low at Canada, and then obviously in RPL my motivation was also pretty low. But then when I saw it was raining and I saw that I had a chance for a good points finish, I just started driving my ass off. And like obviously with what's been happening recently, like I haven't been in the best of ways, which has contributed to some of my bad performances. But obviously today didn't really deter me that much. Um, the wet, I think this is one of my best wet performances because I was pulling away from the likes of Sam, Thrasher, and I was actually like really close to Rouse at one point. But obviously, since the house is really hard, it's like impossible to overtake. I just couldn't get past them. But still, I still don't know how I've gotten P3 here after like everything that's happened.
Well, you qualified back in, I want to say 16th,
16th, yeah.
and you've taken a podium on it. You've taken a podium on it. Where does this seem familiar?
Um, oh, I'm trying to rethink. When did this happen?
It might have, I think, before.
Didn't I
Well,
qual-
you in ARL Bahrain, you weren't in the top 10, and you qualified 11th strategic pole, and you got a podium there.
Yeah,
I want to
well,
say there was
to be
another
fair,
time too, but I can't think of everything in my head.
P11 was my plan all along that time. I did not expect to qualify P16. My paces was not it in Q1 at all, and I just got knocked out. And I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling pretty bad, throughout the rest of qualifying. I started to eat dinner, and I was like, okay, a bit more of a positive attitude heading into the race, and it's paid off. GG's to Rice and Rosley getting their first podiums. Obviously, they drove fantastic to keep it there in the wet and made the right strategy calls. Um, they deserve P2 and P1, respectively. Fantastic result. And yeah, all I'm going to say is, if that's not a Travis Day performance, I don't know what is.
I don't know what is.
Me and Rice Crackers drive is definitely up there.
For sure. I'll take that as a birthday present, best friend. I'll take it. So, congratulations on P3, Polo. Lando, any questions for Polo?
Oh, I told you you'd get a podium and a Haas. I told you you would get one. Never doubt the Haas. No matter how bad it is, it'll get you somewhere. And it got you to the podium. The only question I have for you is, did you think about pitting for softs at the end of that, at the final safety car?
By the
No.
way, be ready for the Mickey podium comments.
Mickey Mouse podium. Oh crap! Can I say that? We might get demonetized. Anyway,
I doubt so. It's with the word podium. It should be okay.
Um.
Hopefully.
Anyway, I did not think about pitting for softs at all because I was like, okay, it's gonna rain again. So like, I was like, no, I'm not pitting. There's no point, and no one's pitting either. So it was just it'd be more of a hindrance more than anything because I was already in a good position anyways. So if one person pit, I only would have lost like one position if things went like completely perfect for them. So I was just like, nah, I'm staying out.
I'll tell you what, it worked out for you. You got Haas another podium. Take
Let's
this
go.
one and leave it. The Haas Masterclass has been shown today at France. Great job, Polo. Incredible work.
Most definitely. And I've also got to mention too, yeah, JNT's already like Mickey Mouse podium. But
Let's go.
yeah, no, I mean I've got to mention as well the stream is unmature, so I don't think it'll get taken down. So anyway, with that being said, Lando, any last thoughts in the race really quickly?
I thought it was beautiful. One, we saw a Haas on the podium, and it was a pretty clean race to say the least. I thought, but it was that stupid pit stop thing under the safety car was quite dumb. I have no idea what happened. But other than that, I thought it was an absolute cracker of a race. I really thought it was really
I
good.
think so. And we do have a race cracker on the podium, so that's cool too to have with it. But just a little reflection before we head to the off week. Yeah, maybe I need to drink more water. The only repeat podium sitter we've had is Sam. And even then, today he had the trouble he did, and he finished back as far as he did. He might still lead the championship, he might not, but with Riles' win, I want to say that's going to put Riles at least up to maybe second or third in the championship, or at least somewhere close to that, because he ended it today with 8 points. So now with his win, we'll see where that puts him. So yeah, that's just I'm speechless too. I mean, I'm with Polo. I'm speechless right there because that was actually a crazy race, and I'm glad it ended up the way it did. I just wish we had more finishers and maybe a bit more cleaner racing. But hey, first 3 races so far in the league, it's delivered. And we already have 8 different podium sitters, and now we're up to 18 different podium sitters in the league itself. So I think it's pretty impressive to have. With that said, though, Riles, congratulations on your first win. Rice Cracker, congratulations on your first podium. Riles, your first podium too. And first points for Rice Cracker. And Paulo, congratulations on another run of 0-7 a jab. So we go to an off week this upcoming week. Riles, you want to explain to the viewers why we have that off week?
Oh, we got the Indy 500. It's a big deal, kind of.
I mean, to you at least, because you're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
You're
there.
going there. Yeah, you're gonna be there in person, not just there. You're gonna be there in person.
Oh yes.
So
Turn forward. Let's go.
and you live how far away from Indiana?
You mean the racetrack?
Oh yeah, the racetrack, Indianapolis.
I maybe like 2 or 3 blocks.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Within walking distance.
Yeah. So Riles gets a special treat with that. He'll be there next week, and luckily we'll have an off week. I think it's only fair to do so. With there being 3 races on one day. You have Monaco, you have F1, and then you have, I want to say NASCAR is on later that night. But either way, you don't want to have 3 races all in one. Well, actually, I should say 4. So you don't want to have that. Anyway, when it comes to the next race, it's the Russian Grand Prix, and we see the final 4 races of the season. Can't believe I'm saying that already. Final 4 races of the season. Catch up with us. This championship battle has been driven wide open, and with a race like today, man, who the hell knows what's going to happen. Anyway, when it comes to next week, next race, June 5th, join us on 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK on that Sunday to see some great action of racing. And could we see 7 different winners in 7 races? We've seen it before. We'll see if we can see it again. Anyway, it's me and Lando, Ryan Ocon 31, Lando Norris, signing off. And until then, have a good one.